Folks, it's time to quit hoarding your old home movies. They're just collecting dust in your closet. So send them to Legacy Box. Legacy Box converts your videotapes to digital so you can easily organize and enjoy a lifetime of memories. It's one of the most meaningful things you can do for your family. Get started for only $9 a tape. That's a third of the regular price. Go to legacybox.com/Ramsey to get the $9 tape deal today. That's legacybox.com/Ramsey.
You guys, I get it. The freedom to make your own decisions means a lot. That's why you should look into biblically based health cost sharing from Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM gives members the freedom to choose the doctors and providers they want for approved treatments without all the frustration of worrying about networks. For 40 years, CHM has helped thousands of families just like yours do things their own way. Find out more today at chministries.org/budget.
This is WBFG 96.5 FM, Parker's Crossroads, Jackson.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. More severe weather is possible today, stretching from lower Michigan all the way through Illinois, Ohio, Missouri, Tennessee, and down into parts of Texas. Authorities say at least 5 people were killed and an unknown number of others were hurt when a large tornado tore through an area of southeastern Missouri before dawn. Meanwhile, National Weather Service meteorologist Marty Rouse says the East Coast will see unseasonably warm temperatures today.
We have a broad area of temperatures in the 80s expected, say from the Ohio Valley southward and down toward the Gulf Coast, and might be in some low 90s over the Florida Peninsula.
And on the flip side, Rouse says the West could see some unseasonably cold temperatures. Also at townhall.com, a firefighter, 55-year-old Lieutenant Jan Chorik, has died after being critically injured while battling a blaze in a high-rise building in Chicago's North Side. That blaze reported before 8 a.m. local time on the 27th floor of the condo and apartment building in the Gold Coast neighborhood. A judge in Donald Trump's indictment case has laid out a lengthy schedule. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports from New York.
The next court date is December 4th, and the former president will again be expected to appear here in Manhattan. Prosecutors asked the judge to set a trial in January, but Trump's legal team is pushing for late winter or spring. That sets the stage for months of legal drama, with a possible trial colliding with the Republican primary schedule, as the former president, now a criminal defendant, campaigns for the White House. Greg Clugston, New York.
Stocks remain mixed. The Dow ahead 94 points, but the Nasdaq is down 139. More at townhall.com.
People ask me sometimes, Lance, I'm worried about my finances and I feel bad because I should be worried, right? I realize that inflation is going to be eating up money. I've got to do something to get around this crazy stock market and Biden's spending spree. Gold has, since the beginning of time, been the resource that God's people have relied on. The silver is mine and the gold is mine, is what the prophet Haggai said during a time of great shaking. To protect your retirement, I recommend that you diversify your 401k or IRA right out of paper assets and into physical gold. And the best way to do that is with Gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. I want you to text the words FAITH, F-A-I-T-H, to 989898 and get a free info kit on gold IRAs. There's no strings attached to this, so just text FAITH, F-A-I-T-H, to 989898 and see what I've discovered here about gold and its ability to stabilize your investment and create a storage of wealth for you in unsteady times.
Another transgender bill passes in a conservative state.
A Kansas bill that would order that people use bathrooms and locker rooms corresponding to their gender at birth has cleared the Republican-controlled legislature. The state Senate voted 28-12 on Tuesday, with one vote more than a two-thirds majority that would be needed to override Democratic Governor Laura Kelly's expected veto. It also would prevent people from changing their gender on driver's licenses. Keith Peters reporting.
Lawmakers in Nevada's Democratic-controlled assembly have heard a bill that would expand already existing voting rights to pretrial detainees in jails. It marks the latest effort taking action on pretrial detention voting that is playing out in different forms nationwide. The bill would make an electric absentee ballot system available to pretrial detainees that is currently tailored toward military, disabled, or overseas voters. Breaking news at townhall.com. If you plan to travel outside the U.S. this fall, you'll need to get your passport in order now.
The U.S. State Department says obtaining a passport could take up to 4 months due to a recent backlog of passports. The State Department says prepare for a wait time between 10 and 13 weeks to process a routine application. If you apply by mail, add 4 more weeks. Paying an extra $60 for an expedited application will still take 7 to 9 weeks. Tasha Stevens reporting.
A first-of-its-kind pilot program to prevent wildlife vehicle collisions. Grants funded through the federal infrastructure law will build wildlife crossings over busy roads, add warning signs for drivers, and develop mapping and tracking tools. Federal highway officials say that each year about 200 people in the U.S. are killed in collisions involving wildlife and vehicles. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
King Jewelers is not your typical jewelry store. It's an iconic symbol of love. Custom-made jewelry to suit the most discriminating taste. Or you can redesign an old piece that's just sitting in a jewelry box. Create something completely new and unique. Grover has over 40 years experience as a certified jeweler. Visit KingJewelerJackson.com. King Jewelers at 16B Conrad Drive, Jackson. Follow King Jewelers Jackson on social media for special savings.
News Talk 96.5 FM weather presented by Dustin Ring. Dustin buys houses fast for cash. Call Dustin now, 731-200-1362. Wednesday brings more thunderstorms and gusty winds. Some storms may be severe with frequent lightning and heavy rainfall with a high of 77. Showers and thunderstorms are likely overnight. Some thunderstorms may produce small hail with a low of 52. Dustin Ring, Dustin buys houses fast for cash. Call Dustin now, 731-200-1362. DustinBuys.com.
It's always severe weather season in West Tennessee. When severe weather strikes, we're here for you. 96.5 FM, News Talk, WTN.com.
Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday. It's Wednesday. It's 74 degrees. It's humid outside and it's humid inside too here. Our air conditioner went out. One of 4 that I know of that's gone out in the last couple of days. I wonder if it's the pollen. That's uncanny. Well, what am I talking about? This first time this year that people have cranked up their air conditioner. It may have something to do with it as well. My name's Dan Reeves, along with Dr. Mark Fowler, Esquire.
Good afternoon, Dan. How are you?
Doc, how are you, sir?
I'm all right.
It's good to see you, my friend.
Good to be seen rather than viewed.
That's an excellent point. Sometimes, though, I just view you. Doc, it's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you, sir. It's good to be here.
Larry Newman. Hello, Newman.
Hello, Reeves.
Larry, it's great to see you.
You can't see me. I'm behind the screen.
I know. That's what I mean. You've never looked better. You look marvelous.
You can't view me.
Well, I tell you this. I like that haircut, that church boy haircut. You've stayed strong
Taking
with
after
it.
you, buddy.
That is very white of you to say. Buddy? What about it, buddy? Oh, Larry, you are a great American. You're white. We call him powder. No street cred whatsoever. Larry Newman, ladies and gentlemen, one of the finest humans in, we got, how many humans on Earth now? About 100,000?
No.
That's a joke. What are we at? 6 billion yet?
6 billion, yeah.
6 billion.
And I'm better than 100,000 of them.
Well, we'll be the judge of that, Larry. It's Wednesday. It's a Stop It Wednesday. We need you to stop it. Stop it. We need you to stop it. So if you've got to stop it, something you'd like to see stop, then Just call it in at 731-265-6496. That's the phone number to get on the air with us as we check the pulse of West Tennessee. We stretch into 15 counties across West Tennessee here on News Talk 96.5 FM. From Parker's Crossroads to Jackson, Humboldt, Medina, Milan. Where you at, Milan? Please stand up. Please stand up. Hall of Fame coach Jeff Morris. Hello, Jeffro. Yolanda's out there. You see Yolanda out there, Larry? Hello, Yolanda. Boogie check. Are you boogieing? Larry, that's a reference to what? You're a Jacksonian. Back in the day, who used to do that?
Super Wolf.
Super Wolf can do it.
Well, by God, you've heard of it now.
Well, if you've not heard of it, you have now. The late, great Super Wolf used to do Boogie Check on Kicks 96. Doc, back in the day, he'd say, Boogie Check, are you boogieing? I can see you out there, Yolanda. He was a great guy, I tell you that. Yeah.
That's what a pimp does.
Well, he was. And that's a compliment, by the way. We got some weather. By the way, the phone lines are sponsored by CWA Development. Now, we're talking about restoration, commercial and residential restoration. They have 80 years experience. 80. So they're not rookies. Now, we expect some weather. How's that go, Larry? Wicked this way.
Something wicked this way comes.
Exactly. And so here we go again, folks. We got some news in the library. I wonder how many of you still use the library. There's no knock against the library, but everyone seems to have Wi-Fi these days. And with Wi-Fi comes Google and comes Wikipedia. So does anyone go to the library anymore? They hide information in books, and they have books in the library. Also, there's a fight. Well, I shouldn't say a fight. But if you missed Walker Talks today, did you catch it, Larry? Walker Talks today.
No, I didn't.
Did you catch it, Doc?
No, I was doing show prep for this afternoon. What happened?
Well, it got a little. It's controversial just a bit. I guess it's fair to say, Chuck, if you're listening, you can. Well, I shouldn't say if you're listening because if you're not, there's no need to say if you're listening. So, Chuck, you call us and fill us in with the fine print on this, but apparently. There's a deal funds for education, the education fund, and there was an agreement. I think it was a court.
It was a court-ordered
agreement. Yes, yeah. It was like $500,000 per year once a certain threshold was met, and I think there may be some finger pointing going on, and the county's been accused of being broke and. John Newman, I know he called in and said, no, county's not broke. We have this much debt and this much cash. I think it was like maybe $30 million debt, $100 million in cash. But Chuck, will you fill us in with the details on that? Now I'm going to be exactly on the money with those figures, but you get the point. And so the county, or supposedly we're going to kick in when it comes to the education fund and the court-ordered side of that. And so we're going to get down to the heart of the matter. Now, I did reach out to Tina Mercer and invite her in. She was in with Chuck and Julie today. And I'm going to reach out to John Newman to see if you'd like to come in as well. We'll talk with him. John was certainly involved with finance with the county. He ran, of course, for county mayor last go around, and in the Republican primary. And he, like many people, but not many people ever have the intestinal fortitude to run for public office. He did, and he came up just a bit short. John's a great guy, and we'll try to get him on the line as well and let him explain it the way he did. I'm sure he did today on Walker Talks with Chuck Walker and Julie Holt. So we're going to get into that. And also some protests in Nashville today that are being classified. We got some text on it already, classified as peaceful protest. And I did speak with State Representative Chris Todd. And Larry, you heard him. He was whispering. He answered the phone on the floor. And he said that they were about to go into session or maybe have been in session, but he was being called away to do the work that he was elected to do, and said, "Can I let you go? I forget to do the work that I was elected to do," sort of a thing. That's like, geez, what's your problem, buddy? And he said, "I will call you as soon as I get a chance." Didn't he, Larry? He's really good about that.
He sure did.
He comes in to talk with the people. And, Doc, that's as much as you can ask from an elected official to be open like Chris Todd is.
Well, he picked up the phone the first ring. That was impressive.
He did.
Saw who it was.
Yeah, he did. And
Larry Newman.
He's
picked that phone up immediately.
I called him 10 times on my phone. He didn't answer. I said, "Let me see your phone." I called it, and he answered first ring. Said, "Hey, big guy, how are you?" I was like, "You got to be kidding me."
Yay!
And so Larry Newman flexing his muscles. And, Doc, what's caught your eye today? What's on your radar for today's show?
I don't know. Different things. Lots happening with the indictment of President Trump, as you know. And surprisingly, a good many former opponents of President Trump, liberal commentators, Mitt Romney, have weighed in on the unimpressive indictment of Donald Trump. I think Eric Adams has bought himself some trouble he didn't anticipate, because the people are underwhelmed by the indictment, by the language of the indictment.
The people...
Well, several commentators on both sides. Of course, Fox News commentators, but as I said, even people on the liberal side at CNN are reporting that they're underwhelmed by Trump's indictment. So,
what do they mean by that when they say underwhelmed? They do, because you would think that, and I've heard others say that know this DA, that there's no way he would have brought this in with a regular guy on the street unless he had the hard evidence. And then you put that on steroids when you're talking about the former presidents and this being, well, a history's made.
Right.
I don't know if it'd be proper to call it history because it's sad. It's really sad. Yeah. And we look really bad worldwide right now. If this guy indicted Trump and doesn't have the goods, that's a big problem. Huge problem.
Well, it is. And here's a couple of interesting notes. All of this was done, allegedly, and the shoehorn up to the felony is that this was done to influence the election. But some of the acts were actually performed in 2017 after the election had already occurred. So that's interesting.
So, okay, but now tell me what acts, just to make sure I'm with you on it.
Well, there is a series of vouchers and invoices and checks and data entries. And it appears that the district attorney took every conceivable data entry. He took the voucher, he took the check, he took the data entry, and broke those up into separate offenses, which is legally questionable. The bottom line.
Let me say also that I think we should say that you have a law license as well.
Well, I have a law degree, and I don't practice anymore.
Well, law degree.
Yeah.
That's good enough.
Yeah, I'm not as radioactive as I used to.
Larry and I, radioactive. Larry and I. Well, I mean, we're essentially three lawyers sitting around talking shop because I watched Matlock and what Larry and I did. So I think, Larry, you and I pretty much up to snuff, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So three lawyers sitting around talking shop, folks.
Yeah, particularly on criminal law. But anyway.
So the easy stuff.
So there's one aspect of it is the indictment charges an offense, which was basically to defraud the electorate, but the offenses occurred in 2017. I don't see how he's going to make that fly.
What would the statute run out?
Well, among other things. I mean, there's just...
Has the statute run? Surely not.
Yeah, well, this thing has more holes than Swiss cheese.
But see, here's why I have a problem. Right. I'm not saying I have a problem. Here's what I don't understand, because I do know for a fact that I can't trust Fox News or CNN. I know that for an absolute fact. Don't you? They're proven liars. Wouldn't you agree?
CNN, definitely. MSNBC, definitely. Now, I'm a Fox News fan.
So let me ask you this then.
Sure.
I'm just curious about it. It's not a criticism of you, because they have a lot of fans.
Right.
You do know they've used, on at least 2 occasions, while they've been sued, their lawyer as defense. Fox News is that, Your Honor, no reasonable person would believe what my client is saying.
I'm not familiar. Well, that does sound, it seems like I've heard that somewhere. and I can't attribute it to Fox News.
No. It isn't. You don't have to. It's not an opinion. That's what they've used in court. Does that not bother you?
That bothers me a little bit. Yeah,
just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know whether that was satire.
No. It wasn't.
It
wasn't Babylon B. It was
not that.
No.
Right.
This was. You could pull it up. It's courts in those lawsuits. You could pull that up and see. I've not watched much Fox News since Bill. I was a fan of Bill O'Reilly. That man was talented.
He was
very talented. There's no defense on the things that he was doing, but I don't think he deserved a death sentence over it. He's been banished to he's online, I think. I'm not sure. But boy, he disappeared off the face of the earth, didn't he?
He did.
And Tucker Carlson, who spent time on MSNBC and CNN, he's been a liberal commentator. He's playing a part. He's playing a part. Don't you agree?
Well, I have context for you here. I pulled it up, and a federal judge has dismissed a lawsuit against Tucker Carlson, who is an opinion guy. And apparently,
that's right. That's the key.
Playboy model Karen McDougal filed a defamation suit against Fox, alleging that Carlson slandered her during a December 2018 episode of the show. The network asked the judge to dismiss the case, arguing that Carlson's statements were not statements of fact and that she failed to adequately allege malice. There's a whole complicated First Amendment and public figures and defamation.
Well, no, I think you've touched on a couple of keys. Yeah. One of them being Tucker's statements were not intended to be taken as fact.
The judge agreed with Fox's premise, adding that the network...
Hold on. That was the biggest thing there.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you?
Well, Carlson is an opinion guy.
Yeah, but what does that tell you that Your Honor, my client, what he was saying was not intended to be taken as fact?
If this was a rhetorical flourish, I would. You
can't answer that, can you?
Yeah, yes, I can. If it was a rhetorical flourish, I would agree with the judge. For example, if Tucker Carlson would say that Hillary Clinton is the Antichrist,
Doc,
surely that's not a statement of fact.
You are bending yourself into a pretzel to avoid answering the question.
No, you think I'm bending myself into a pretzel. But as I said, if Tucker Carlson said Hillary Clinton is the Antichrist, that's rhetorical flourish. And I would not necessarily...
She's not?
Doc.
I would not necessarily put any credence to that.
But let's keep it to this case here.
Right.
What does that tell you? That his defense is...
I don't know what he said.
It wasn't... Do you need to know? Because it says here, Your Honor, my client, Tucker, what he was saying was not meant to be taken as fact.
If A, he's an opinion guy, and B, I don't know what he said about this woman.
That's another way of saying he's lying. Is it not?
Not necessarily.
Okay, if I tell you, Doc... Or if you were seeing a patient and you said to the patient, I need to talk with you about your health.
Right.
What I'm about to tell you is not meant to be taken as fact.
I don't do that.
Why not?
Well, because that's
not
an opinion characteristic.
Yeah, well,
if the discussion were, listen, you're a stupid idiot because you smoke crack, you do cocaine, you eat ho-hos for
don't attack
dinner.
Larry on the air.
Then that's opinion. Okay, and the opinion being you're a stupid idiot.
Because it's too serious to not be honest with your patient, is what you're saying.
Right.
Well, the health of our nation is pretty serious.
Correct. And I would give Tucker Carlson the benefit of the doubt.
Benefit of the doubt?
Yeah, I don't know what he said to Ms. McDougal, but if he was engaged in clear rhetorical flourish, then I would give him the benefit of the doubt on that. I would concur with not only his
because
lawyers,
you're a
but
fan.
the judge. Well, I'm a fan.
And you're aligned with him politically.
I take him with a grain of salt.
He's your...
He's
on your team.
About you, by the way. He said, what are you going to do with Reeves? I said, Tucker, I can't. I'm helpless here.
Doc, you're anything but helpless. You're a great American, my friend.
Well, thank you, my friend. And I appreciate the debate, and you are correct, and I'm a little stunned that Fox would say that. But they did, and Tucker Carlson prevailed.
It's, in the country, IQ slipped another couple of points.
Yep.
And the same thing for CNN and MSNBC. I mean, take those networks, put them in a portable toilet and light it on fire. Not with the people in it, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, that said, who do you rely on for news?
I rely on there's factcheck.org is a nonpartisan. It's a publicly funded organization, and they will bust left and right.
Right.
And they also will always they will source their material.
All right.
And that is a tremendous source. And it was causing some problems for these politicians a few years ago, and brilliantly done, because they spent a lot of money on marketing. Sitting around the table brainstorming, they came up with, here's all we need to do. Here's the way to handle these fact checkers, because they are screwing us up here.
Right.
All we got to say is, who's fact checking the fact checkers?
Right. Right.
And then that line was regurgitated all over the country, and that did a lot of damage to the country as well.
But you have done. I think you have to understand Glenn Beck, to a certain extent, Tucker Carlson.
Certain extent.
Bill,
this guy is off the chart nutso.
Bill O'Reilly and others.
Bill O'Reilly would go so far, but he would stop.
Right.
And if you can entertain me, then I'll give some, because he was entertaining.
He was. And so
Mark, what's his name, is entertaining, the talk show host, from the lawyer from New York. What is his name?
Mark Levin?
Yeah, Mark Levin.
He is entertaining.
He's entertaining, yes, yeah. So,
but all of these guys have the burden of combining enlightenment and entertainment.
There's no enlightenment that I hear. It is intentionally misleading Americans, and I didn't come up with that by deciding this morning before lunch. It's over the course of time that's led me to this opinion, because it's a good question when you ask.
Right.
So who do you rely on? That's an excellent question, and it's not only what I was telling you, but it's also then I take my life experiences in with it as well.
Right.
And because there are things you should pick up on by simply being alive. You know.
Sure.
And if you add that in to when you have a source that you can trust, like factcheck.org, then add in the logic that's as a human being in experiencing life on Earth, but we also have the ability. We have a news department. And we have the time to do the fact check. It takes time. A lot of people don't have that time.
It does. Now we've got, and you correctly point out, we've lost the era when we had Walter Cronkite, Peter Jennings, and the others who were fundamentally news readers and not entertainers.
Right. It's an excellent point, Doc. And they point. The consensus is this started in America because of 60 Minutes. Now, 60 Minutes, that was no knock on them, because they're well respected as journalists.
Right.
But they were making money, and until then, the thought was, you can't make money with the news departments of these networks, ABC, NBC, and CBS, and the fat guys with cigars said, wait just a minute here. Because before this, it was essentially, hey, guys, you got 23 hours. Make all the money that you can. But for 1 hour a day, you're going to do the news.
Right.
Because the founding fathers said the only way to keep this going, this representative republic, this democracy of ours, if we have an enlightened electoral base.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
citizenry. Right. And but the fat guys with cigars said, well, we'll have to pay off some politicians here.
Are you fat shaming now? I can't. Are you hearing this?
Yes.
Fat shaming?
It's
incredible.
That or cigar shaming.
Doc, you may call it fat shaming, but don't become such a big part of the council culture. The woke community. Doctor, please. Let's get a phone call. You want to? Let's get right back to
it. Let's get a phone call.
People are standing by, and to the phone lines at 731-265-6496. 731-265-6496. You'll lead us off today here on News Talk 96.5 with Dan Reeves, Dr. Fowler, and Larry Newman. You're on the air. Go.
Well, hello. Good afternoon, Dan.
Well, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Well, today's a great day, man, except for the rain. It's cold rain. It's cold, man.
Man, I wish we had a convertible. We'd peel the top back right now. Our air went out, and Doc and Larry, it feels like it's Florida in here, doesn't it?
It's a little warm.
Whew, Lordy.
I'm going to have to speak to management about the air conditioning and the working
Yeah, me
conditions.
too.
Hey, bro, you said you do fact checking on lots of your stories that the callers do. Have you fact checked those uniform commercial codes, sir, that I've read?
Yeah, Larry and I were doing that around the coffee pot a little bit ago. Larry, did you come up with what was the consensus on that, or is that something we still are working on?
I'm still working.
I know what the answer is, bro. Let me interrupt.
Just a minute.
Sorry.
Just a minute, Josh. You asked us a question. Larry, the answer was what now?
No, we're still working on it.
Still working on it. Don't be so pushy.
Oh, yeah, I am being kind of pushy. You're right.
Josh, you have enough political capital built up over 20 years that I've enjoyed talking with you on there. I consider you a friend, although I've never met you. Most people I met, it didn't work out as far as friendship goes, so I think you and I have the right combination. We've never have met, so we're still friends. But it's I got a lot of respect for you. You know that. You read a lot, and I'm not sure what you're reading. I'm guessing Mad Magazine, and maybe mixed in with Red Book. I'm not sure, but you were going to say what?
I was going to ask you about the One People's Public Trust, which is like the biggest news ever in the history of like the world, when they foreclosed on world corporate slavery systems and banks and corporations, like Donald Trump has brought to the podium like last night. I was amazed. I was like, okay, so he's doing 5D chess here against these 3D little corpse parasites, and it's weird. He comes up to the podium, he slides over the bishop, and he says, hey, this whole thing's a fraud, man. And it's like, he's telling the truth, I believe.
Yeah, everything's a fraud that he didn't agree with. So, and again, I go back to this. When a man says, I'm the only one, I'm the savior, get as far away from him as you possibly can. It's been my experience on Earth. If this man if he's not suffering from narcissistic personality disorder or just full-blown sociopath, then I ain't sitting here. And that's what we need to face. That's our leader. That's the leader of our party. I don't know what he has on Lindsey Graham, and there's no telling what goes on behind closed doors with her. But it's.
Well, now wait a minute. That's a little hyperbole right there.
Oh, it is. But the people that consistently lie to the American people, I have no whatsoever. I have no sympathy for. They are intentionally misleading the American people for personal gain, and that's not going to do. It's just not going to do. Josh, thank you very much for the phone call.
Always good to hear from Josh.
He was in an accident years ago, and I think he's got a plate.
Yeah,
and nothing slows him down.
Appears to stay up on things. Always good to hear his call.
Absolutely. If I don't understand everything he said, I'm sure some of it was brilliant. In some other language, he'll lapse right into, I don't know. I know he likes to speak a lot of Thai, and I don't understand that, but we got to get to a quick break and top it. But as we make our way, you were about to say, we'll get into it. You were about to say something.
Well, the court said exactly what I just said, and I just tripped across it. Said that the accusations that Carlson made cannot be understood to have been stating facts, but instead was delivering an opinion using hyperbole for effect. And that is not a claim for defamation involving a public figure. There's some subtle rules there.
I guess the question would be, should it be, if you're gonna be under the banner of news, but then because the people watching that, the 3 million people watching that today, they believe him. My parents believe him. They never followed politics in their life until recently, and all this social crusade is nuts, especially for. I'm a conservative. This is not conservative government. This is big, overreaching governments. Don't redefine conservatism and try to repackage it and sell it to me, because I ain't buying it.
Well, the thing about Tucker Carlson is this. Yes, he speaks in hyperbole. Yes, people approach his show with a degree of skepticism. He is entertaining.
I don't think they do. My parents don't.
Well, maybe they should.
Yeah, they should, but they don't.
But
And that's the point. And what about the text messages between Tucker, Sean Hannity, and what's her name?
I'm not familiar.
The female host.
Yeah, what's that about?
You don't know about these texts?
No.
Slamming the you-know-what out of Donald Trump, saying, calling him an idiot? Pull it up. They're text messages between, and it doesn't matter what they do. No, it's
in the context of the United States and in the context of free, open, hard-hitting speech, I say the government stay out of it. Because there's no...
No. We, the people, are the government. It's the corporations that are behind this because they bought the government. This is not in the best interest of the American people at all.
No.
And it's got to stop or this country's going away.
But who's going to... What is it you want to stop?
If you under the news banner,
yeah,
then you give us the news and stop. And Doc, you're not going to be able to convince anyone that pays attention to this stuff that they mean well, because they don't. They're not trying to inform the American people. They're trying to confuse the American people. That's the whole point. Rupert Murdoch cannot do this in Australia. They wouldn't put up with it because they take democracy very seriously.
Well, all right, but here's the thing.
Go home and do it. He can't.
The government has no business stepping in.
We, the people, are the government. Why do you keep saying that?
And the solution is don't listen to Tucker Carlson if you don't like it.
Oh, jeez. Dude, that's like saying don't listen to, now I'm not comparing him to, you pick a leader that's used propaganda. It's like saying, oh, hey, look, yeah, he talks to 3 million people a day. Just don't listen to him if you don't like him.
That's right. In a free society, that is the solution.
No, it's not.
What would you say it is?
Okay, you're spitting in the face of the founding fathers.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I am consistent hand in hand with the founding fathers.
You are standing up for people that intentionally mislead the American people. And the founding fathers said in plain English, that the key to this democracy in our representative republic is an informed electorate.
That's correct.
And they are making sure that we don't have that. They are kicking the founding fathers in the you-know-what.
Identify for me, then, the ideal umpire who will call a technical when the speech is out of.
I think I can do it.
Okay.
I'm here so I'm speaking in the first person.
Right.
And I can do it because I care about this country.
And what if you're wrong?
Then I'll say, hey, guys, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Do you think I'm wrong?
No, but the point that I'm trying to make
so we better go ahead with it.
The point I'm trying to make is, for months we were led to believe that the vaccine, quote, and the President Biden said it, vaccine, quote, prevents you from getting COVID. Not true.
He never said it.
Yes, he did.
What?
I heard him say it.
Doc, why do you... No, I got a lot of respect for you. I shouldn't say why do you, because you're not the only one. Split hairs with this because you know very well that we were learning on the fly. So, and how many times did you hear it's a fluid situation? And
not enough.
And so, let's just say you're right that Biden said that, because what I was hearing was it helps prevent you from getting COVID. And if you do get it, it's not a guarantee that you won't get it, but it will be a far less severe condition with it. Now,
here's Newsweek.
Okay.
Video of Biden saying vaccination prevents COVID resurfaces. He did say it, and he was wrong.
Okay, wait a minute. Say that again, what you just saw there.
This is a clip from Newsweek.
Okay.
Here's a video of Biden saying that vaccinations prevent COVID.
Well, we can't play it from your laptop. I'll pull it up and we'll play it over the air when we come back in from break. But and I got to. And your point of this is what? That Biden was intentionally misleading the American people.
Yes.
By saying if you get the vaccine,
you won't get COVID.
Yes. Okay.
He was intentionally.
Does that bother you?
Yes.
But Tucker didn't bother you.
Tucker doesn't bother me because he is a rhetorician. He speaks in rhetoric. He speaks in hyperbole.
But politicians
and I understand that.
Politicians don't.
Joe Biden is speaking as the representative of the United States government and declaring a scientific fact. He's not engaged in hyperbole.
What do you think if they call it the First Amendment?
That's because it's the most important one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Gatekeepers of our democracy.
Right.
And Fox News and CNN and MSNBC and one only, whatever these other ones that have popped up, are absolutely stomping the guts out of the founding fathers. They may as well dig them up, prop them up, and kick them in the face.
But here's my point.
Now, don't you agree?
Well, perhaps. My point is this. First of all, there's no perfect umpire to say, CNN, you're out of bounds, or Fox News, you're out of bounds.
We had that. It was called the Fairness Doctrine, and the Reagan administration put a bullet in it.
Well, that doesn't bother me particularly either.
What?
But the only
that
way,
led us to where we're at today.
The only way to live within the parameters of the First Amendment is to give everybody an opportunity to speak. At which point you can.
Yeah, you can. I'm not talking about taking the man on the streets free speech away. I'm saying if you're going to represent yourself as a news network, you don't need to intentionally mislead the American people. That's wrong. Nobody would do that.
Correct.
And think this was going to have a good outcome. Nobody. But they do it to split us down the middle.
But consistent with conservatism's
that ain't conservatism. That's what I'm saying. What are we doing to conservatism? That's not conservatism.
You are denying the individual agency of a citizen to listen to the news and reject it.
Well, then let's not deny Rupert Murdoch any money. Let's stay in his plane until we crash into the side of the mountain. We'll go down in flames as long as we don't infringe on Rupert Murdoch.
No, you're missing the point.
No, you're missing the point. We're not going to survive like this. Americans hate Americans because they don't know which way's up.
Well, now that's a different issue.
No, it's not.
Yeah, the antipathy between Americans is a different issue.
No, it's not. This is the basis. If you were treating a patient, you'd get down to what is causing the pain.
Right.
Well, this is what's causing the pain.
Right. No, I don't agree with that.
Well, what is?
I have never thought to myself after listening to Tucker Carlson or Rush Limbaugh, I should go out and run over somebody.
Nor did I say you did.
Right. Now,
now you're using their model. You're starting to sing from their hymnal. That was misleading right there. I never said that.
No, you didn't say that.
But this has taken 30 years to saturate the American mind and split us down the middle.
Right.
And don't tell me the Democrats are not involved with this, too. It's a two-step dance.
Of course they are. All the political parties, all of them are chomping at the bit to destroy each other. No. All right? The Democrats would love to
they're not destroying each other. They're in it together.
All right, to tear us apart then.
It's the way the ruling classes operated since day one on planet Earth, divide and conquer.
Well, all right, I'll give you that. I will give you that.
I'm looking out for you.
But the only solution to this is to let all voices be heard and then let people decide. Yeah.
No. No other country that's healthy would ever do this. We would never have done this. We would never become what we became doing this.
No.
Never would we say it's a good idea to let people first of all, let's make sure that the national news outlets are in the hands of just a handful of people. That'd be a great idea. And let's let them run under the moniker of news and blatantly lie to the American people and present it as news. That will ensure us of the founding fathers and to avoid that warning and that disaster of not having a country with enlightened citizens.
What would you do?
It's this. Don't tell me that you love the founding fathers. That's their number one amendment.
What would you say if your competitor came over here and said, "Dan, you're lying. We're shutting you down"?
My competitor?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Fairness Doctrine. They didn't do people like that.
Well, I'm talking about. If your competitor said, Dan, you're just as bad as Fox News and CNN, we're shutting you down.
This is misleading as well. Because
How is that misleading?
Because I'm not going to say, let's let a competitor decide. I never said that. It's the Fairness Doctrine. If we don't understand our power and take back our government, we're done. And the only way we can do that is to be enlightened.
Correct.
And there are people that are working very hard to make sure that we are confused all day, every day.
All right, let me ask you this then. Would you allow a white supremacist in here to present his arguments?
Yes.
You would?
Yes, but I would. But allowing a white supremacist to have a network and it said news on it would probably be a bad idea, because if he came in here to regurgitate the trash that flies out of their face and explain to me because of the pigmentation in their skin that God has made them worth more than someone that doesn't, that has more pigmentation in their skin, I would eat them alive.
Right. And you would also encourage the NAACP to come in and eat them alive.
I think I'd do a better job of it myself, but I would invite the NAACP in, yes.
Yeah, you see the point. The point is only with unrestricted speech can you get to the truth.
That is, again, misleading what you're doing, because you keep taking it, putting it in a bowl and trying to stir it up. I'm not talking about infringement on freedom of speech for the individual American. I'm talking about these corporations that own the national media outlets that are using them as propaganda, just like John Kennedy warned us would happen. They blew his head off, by the way, just a few days later on a city street, sitting next to his wife, sitting just behind the governor of the state of Texas, and they made an example out of him. And some people say, and some people that I've got a lot of respect for, that was a coup. Now, if you watch, the aftermath seems to tell the tale. The aftermath of that, to me, tells me that it looks like that was a coup, folks. We've not been the same since. The troops that Kennedy were taken out of Vietnam before it escalated into war were turned around and sent back, and 50,000 dead Americans to stop the spread of communism in Vietnam, who's a trading partner of ours now, Communist Vietnam is. That tells me that was a total lie. And those, what were they called, Doc? The Vietnam Papers that were revealed, Pentagon Papers, that it was all a lie.
Right.
Didn't seem to bother people.
And you know what uncovered that speech? The power to speak to the American people and to say, we have this information that we think you should know.
Yeah, the journalism uncovered it.
Correct.
Yeah, and I've not once said that journalism is being attacked in America. Gannett's a great example. Gannett, these morons, are they this stupid? They bought the Jackson Sun. Larry, you know this. Jackson Sun would 15 years ago, Doc, you're a writer. You probably know this. They had 50,000 subscribers for the Jackson Sun.
Right. It's next to nothing now.
That's right.
And
What is it, Doc? Every so often, maybe once a year, the newspapers have to print the number of subscribers. They have to put it in paper.
Right.
And so they come in, buy it. And the revenue is way up here. And I was over there every other day during this time. Not an empty cubicle in the place.
Right.
Jobs, journalism going on. They had a print press here in town. It was a wonderful operation. As a Jacksonian, I was proud of it.
Mm-hmm.
Really was. Mm-hmm. They got it. Absolutely got it. The last time I was over there, Brandon Shields, before he left, he was the only one in that building. I went over there to meet with him.
Right.
So he had to meet me and unlock the door to let me in because he said, I'm the only one here.
Right.
And it was a weekday. So you tell me, are they that stupid?
Yes.
Or that was...
Yeah, they're that stupid.
I don't believe that. I think it's intentional.
Why would they shut it down intentionally?
Because journalism is a problem if you're a part of a system, political system that's corrupt. You don't need these people shining lights on what you're doing.
Now, you hit on something there. You hit on something. Effective journalism is one of the best tools to fight an oppressive government. That's right.
Yep.
Absolutely right.
You bring it.
By the way, Gannett is on the phone. They want to talk to you.
I'd love to talk with Gannett. And by the way, Gannett allegedly, apparently they were behind Topics. Remember that website?
I remember that. Yeah. That was awful.
All right, phone lines. You're next here live on News Talk 96.5 is Dan and Doc. Larry Newman, you're live with us on the air. Go. That's you. You're on the air.
Hey, Dan.
Hey there.
Chris Todd. How are you doing?
Chris, hey, man. State Representative Chris Todd is, you know, I tell you, Chris, I laid the phone over to the side there, and I missed your text, but that don't matter. You're on the line with us right now, and our State Representative Chris Todd joining us via the telephone. You guys in session again today. What's happening in Nashville today?
Well, just wrapping up some committee meetings. We've got some committees that had their last calendar today and closed out for the season for this year, and just continuing to do the work of the people as much as we can do.
This Dr. Fowler, I wanted to ask you a question. Do I read correctly that a federal judge has issued an injunction against the drag queen bill that you sponsored?
Oh, yeah. We fully expected that. It's kind of interesting, though. As you well know, the ACLU is usually the prime suspect in one of these situations where they're going after good conservative laws, and they've refused to touch this one. They have said publicly this is purely constitutional. There is no issue whatsoever. And so, and our AG has said the same thing. So it's just a formality for them to go through and do their due diligence in that court, and then I'm sure they're gonna stand by us. And if they don't, then we'll have an appellate court that will have the right decision.
Sure. Now let me segue from that to the next issue of importance, which is the potential expulsion of the 3 Democratic members who misbehaved, so to speak, on the floor. Where are we on that?
Well, we've had to pass a resolution for each one of them Monday evening. My days kind of run together when I'm here. And so they officially lay over those resolutions, lay over until our session tomorrow, which gives them time to prepare any defenses and prepare their positions on those resolutions. Each resolution laid out some of the reasons for expulsion and called for their expulsion. We will have basically a trial under unfinished business tomorrow after we go through our regular calendar, and then each one of them may have representation on the House floor advising them, although they have to speak for themselves. We can't have anyone but members speaking on the House floor. And so they'll be able to make statements, and others can ask questions or make statements about them.
State Representative Chris Todd joining us in the program. Dan Reeves and Dr. Fowler with you. Larry Newman is here as well. He'll be right back. Nature calls, and when nature calls, you better answer the phone. You know what I'm saying? But Chris, so it's two, three Democratic House members. Chris, I didn't realize there were that many Democrats in Nashville. But
it's going to be a significant part of them for sure.
Well, so expulsion would amount to be what? What's the strongest punishment that could be leveled against them?
That's it. I mean, we have a reprimand, which is nothing. We have censorship, which is nothing. I mean, it's literally just a statement that they did something bad, and that's it. And then we have expulsion. That's what's laid out in our Constitution. And if they are expelled from the legislature, they will be expected to leave immediately in their districts. Unfortunately,
is that for a certain, Chris? Is that for a certain amount of time, like being expelled from school, which Larry can relate to that? For a certain amount of time, they're expelled, and then they can come back, or what? How does it work?
Well, it is permanent from the standpoint of their current status as members. They will no longer be members of the General Assembly at that point. Now, there's certainly a process whereby they may participate at a local level and get reelected. They could get reappointed in certain circumstances and come right back potentially.
Well, what does this mean for the people that they represent, that they don't have any representation?
He gone.
It's or what would that mean? Do you know?
Well, quite frankly, they don't have representation right now. Those poor folks that most of which didn't show up to vote have representatives right now in name only. They're not doing any work. They have not done any work this entire session. They are literally here to just make a name for themselves and to try to incite a riot. Basically,
it's show business too. Yeah, Chris,
it really is.
Chris, you own a business and you manage that, and I don't know if you've ever missed a vote. There's really no excuse for it. There's sometimes, maybe once every blue moon, I understand that something may come up and someone may not be there for a vote, but this is unacceptable, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not just being there for a vote. It's are you disruptive? Are you going by the rules? Are you respectful of the process? Which means, are you respectful of the rest of the citizens of this state? Or do you only show up in order to make a name for yourself and to try to create a crowd around you that would cheer you on? And that's what these three have done.
Well, Chris, they must have done something terrible. What'd they do?
Well, they, without being called upon, they literally stormed the podium in the House. I had just presented a bill last week when and got it passed when they basically took over. One of them snuck in a megaphone, an electronic megaphone. They made sure that the gallery, which is above the chamber, the floor, it's the seating area for the public to come into and view our proceedings. They made sure that it was packed with their supporters. Outside our chamber was literally just shoulder to shoulder with folks there that they had invited in. And they began to yell and take over the House floor where we couldn't do our business. They were out of order. They were ruled out of order multiple times and refused. They don't take orders. They don't listen to anybody. They don't want to obey any rules. And so for a member to go out of order and continue to talk and yell and incite the crowd, even to action, they were calling on the crowd for action to do something. And I think many in that crowd easily could interpret that to be able to storm the floor, to come in there and try to physically do something to the members on that floor or our staff.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
And that's what they were doing, in my opinion, inciting a riot or trying to. And right before that, they had been doing that with the crowd outside the chamber. They had been literally minutes before we arrived, they were singing. My assistant told me they were literally just singing. It was fairly peaceful. And then these three got up and started pumping up the crowd and getting them all fired up for us to walk off the elevator. And then that just kind of started. And then once they got in the chamber, they were going to the door. One or both of them, one or two of them were going to the doors that we enter in and opening those doors and standing there, or would bend down and tie their shoe, something to delay closing the door because it was very loud. The crowd outside that they had pumped up was continually making a huge racket. I mean, it was just deafening. And with those doors open, we couldn't hear the proceedings inside.
Chris, our state representative Chris Todd's on the line with us from Nashville. Chris, we're at the top of the hour. Would you consider holding over? Can you hold over to continue this conversation?
I can. It'll be just for a few minutes because I've got a 4:15 I've got to run to.
Okay, all right, that's fair enough. Well, I tell you what, let's stay with Chris, and then we'll get the news right after that. State Representative Chris Todd is with us from Nashville. Chris, this text came in, said, Dan, we're listening to you from Nashville, and what we're hearing here is they're getting expelled. We heard it today from a representative. They have only been in position since January. I get, Chris, they may be talking about, whoever's texting us in, maybe talking about these three Democrats. Capitol is expecting massive protests tomorrow. And from Nashville, I'm just sharing what I've heard today, and it's good to hear State Representative Chris Todd on the program. So thank you for sending that text to the Advanced Rehab and Medical text line. Chris, what do you say to that?
Well, we have heard that they're planning to bus people in from other areas, maybe even out of state, to join the protest against these three being expelled. And two of them have been here since January. That's correct. One has been here for a number of years and certainly knows better. But she actually, Gloria Johnson, was actually helping them pump up the crowd. We believe from other witnesses and whatnot that she helped bring the megaphone in and kind of kept it hidden until they were ready to take over. And so, they shut our business down for at least 45 minutes. And again, that's the people's house. It is not their house. And so they were trying to use what they could, the tools that they had at their disposal, to completely take over and disrupt. Nothing that's ever been done in 225 years plus. It's never been done. There's nothing ever happened anywhere close to this. And if they are not expelled, it will only get worse. They were disrupting committees. All three been removed from all their committees by our speaker first of this week. And I understand now in Education Administration Committee today, they were doing the same thing, pumping up the crowd, being very disruptive. And it's all about themselves. They're look at me, look at what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. You get behind me. Let's stir this up.
Yes,
that's all we're here for.
Snake and narcissism.
Did you hear?
Yeah, we did hear about that. State Representative Chris Todd on the line with us. Doc?
Well, Chris, I hate to bring up the elephant in the room. Do I remember correctly that all three of these members are African American?
No, that is not correct.
Okay,
Gloria Johnson is.
What would that matter?
Well,
exactly.
I don't want the Republicans to be seen as ganging up on African American Democrats.
No,
but I think Chris has made an excellent case here.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
It has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with their party. It is strictly about their individual behavior, and they just happen to be conspiring together to do this. And again, the crowds that we're expecting tomorrow, there's probably going to be a lot more people here tomorrow than what were here last week even, and Monday of this week, because they did the same thing this week. They had a much smaller crowd Monday to try to disrupt and make noise, and had we had to have people removed from the gallery because we couldn't do our business. We want this open to the public. We have things live streamed. We broadcast everything. We leave videos online so people can go back and look at them. We do everything possible to make sure the public has a participation here. But we're not a mob rule. We're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic.
Amen.
And these folks want to continue talking about a democracy that we're not, because that allows them to be that mob rule. And we're not there. We're not going to be there.
You just let the cat out of the bag. You spilled the beans. You told on yourself, Chris. This proves you're trying to hide what you guys are doing, put it all on these public forums for people to listen to and watch. Yeah,
it's terrible.
I tell you, secret society. No, and you come in here. Geez, you step out to call us. I can't tell you how much we appreciate that, Chris. That's you work for the people, man, and it's like an umpire. You've never said that you're perfect, and we've disagreed on things, but we agree on most things. And you're one of the few people today that will gladly address things like that, and it's just strengthened our friendship and my respect for you, Chris. I've got so much respect for you and how hard you work. I really appreciate that you're representing us.
Well, thank you, Dan, and I truly believe in the process. I believe in the way our Constitution sets up the citizen legislature and the citizens' involvement. I mean, it literally says that the people should instruct their representatives, and so I encourage that. I want people to tell me what their thoughts are and what they expect. Unfortunately, a lot of folks that don't agree with me are asking me to do things that are unconstitutional, and I cannot cross that line. And that's what these folks are wanting. They're wanting us to cross that line and disregard the rights and protections that are enumerated in the Constitution so that they feel something. They feel safer or they feel happy or whatever it is today. And that may change tomorrow. One thing that doesn't change is what our Constitution establishes. And that's what we all agree to abide by. And that's what I'm here to defend.
Yeah, you're showing how stubborn you are. Just want to stick with the Constitution. Jeez, this guy here, Chris Todd.
I'm an extremist, yeah, I know.
Well, it's a tough situation that you're in, and we appreciate your courage and your candor, and we wish you the best of luck.
Chris, I told Doc before he came on the air, I said, I got so much respect for Chris, and look, I think he asked how long we've been friends. I said, well, it didn't start out great for one segment. The primary.
Man was throwing rocks at me.
I was on you hard, wanting answers, and I never met Chris, and we went to the break, and I said, dude, Chris said, man, you're tough. I said, dude, you're awesome. I mean, it's just because you're straightforward, Chris, and you face things head on. You did not dodge. You didn't try to deflect, and and you were right there with me. We went to that break, and I said, man, that's impressive the way you handled that. Yeah. And I'm not trying to embarrass you by bragging on you, but thank you, Chris. I appreciate it very much.
Well, I'm transparent, as you know, and I don't mind telling folks what I believe and why. If I don't have a reason for something, then I really question it. But here, there's no doubt what we need to do, how we need to deal with this to protect the rights of the citizens of this state. We cannot let a mob or a few individuals try to just roughshod over the will of the people and what the people's rights are. And we're not going to do that.
Yeah, well, we were going to try it, but since you put it that way, I guess we won't. And by the way, I'm getting a little nervous up there. I'm going to send some muscle up there for you tomorrow, Chris. Send Larry Newman up there. Listen, there may be some people who find out what the sidewalk tastes like. Chris, State Representative Chris Todd, thank you so much for your time, Chris. And you shoot us a text anytime there's something breaking up there. I don't have to say that to you. You know how much we appreciate your time here, Chris. Thank you, sir.
Good to be with you guys. Good to be with you. Thanks for what you do.
Thank you, Chris.
Chris Todd, State Representative, and he even had to call me and say, "Hey, Reeves, a few years ago, I think you ought to consider taking that off social media." And he was right, because I was trying to be funny, but Chris said it was during COVID. People are a little too nervous for that, and he did that because he cared about me.
Right.
And I was like, "Geez, this guy here." Thank you, Chris.
And I told him to put it on there.
Yes, Larry was encouraging me to put it up there. Don't let Chris bully you like that.
Well,
but he wasn't. He didn't. He said, "I just worry about you."
He has made an excellent case for expulsion because it sounds like these three are nothing but troublemakers. And I hope that word gets out, but I'm afraid you know how this is going to go, that everybody's going to say this is racist and y'all are racist and so forth.
You know, it's maybe, but I don't think so. It's a lot of times the people that are saying it are members of our own party that kick it up and they stir it up. And I know that's not what you're trying to do because you're trying to because that's happened before. Yeah. You're right about that. Yeah. It's not like you were just making that up. This has never happened because it could. It really could. And thank you, Melissa. Melissa's opening the doors in here. I know Garrett's on their way still here, and they're fantastic. Our air conditioner went out yesterday, and there's a lot of hot air in this room.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to attack you, Larry, but it's without the air conditioner. Doc looked flustered yesterday, and I was like, and he never does he, Larry. He always just he looks like a doctor flustered. For crying out loud. But man, we got to get a timeout in the news. We'll come right. There's so much breaking into Doc.
Yes, it is. A lot of stuff happening.
Man, it's good. I'm so happy that you're a part of this with us, Doc.
Glad to be here.
I'm telling you.
Hopefully I can get you sorted out, or you can sort me out, or...
Oh, listen,
we'll
Doc,
both get on medicine, and then we'll be back.
Do you have a script, Pat, with you?
I do. I actually
Larry,
do.
let's put it in order. Now, Doc wouldn't do that at all. This man is... you're talking about morally sound. Is Doc. And Doc faces things head on as well. I like that about you, Doc.
Thank you, sir.
Including when I had your truck the other day. The message you sent me was plain English. Bring my truck back now.
No, I think it was something like, Dan, are you thinking about bringing the truck back after 4 hours of use?
Well, it's the only good thing about that. At least I was out visiting a friend of ours at Advanced Rehab and Medical at 45 Urgent Care. Man, they are so busy out there.
That's good.
Yeah, advancedrehabjackson.com. Dr. Shannon Bone ranked in the top 10 for chiropractors on planet Earth. Doc, you're going to have to step it up, Dr. Bone. That's pathetic, isn't it? Top 8 billion people on Earth, and he's just in the top 10?
That is kind of slacking.
I tell you, he has a talent when it comes to chiropractic care. The man was born to be a chiropractor, don't you think?
I think so. Great guy, great person, great guy.
Yep. Integrity. Yep. AdvancedRehabJackson.com. The text line, we're going to get to all these texts. I-Man is on me with both feet. He said he is saying that he's going to stomp a mud hole in my blankety blanket and walk it dry. Let me point out, I-Man, the muscle is to my right. He goes by the name Larry Newman, and he ain't in that good a mood today. And when we go to a break, Larry, I got you a fresh glass of gasoline, too. He'll drink that, and, come on up and say hello to him. They might find you out there on 45 Highway. Of course you do. I kid you, I-Man. Shouldn't threaten listeners. I love the I-Man. We may disagree, but that's fine. And Casey Gold is coming in, and as warm as it is in here now, he's going to add to the hot air. Casey Gold will be with us. Casey, he just finished he's working part-time for Sears. He's modeling their underwear. No one here has had the heart to tell him that Sears has gone out of business. And we don't know what this guy's trying to pull over in KC, but he's modeling underwear. I think they're men's. I'm not sure. So Casey Gold will be here.
I really hope he's in a good mood this afternoon.
Well, I can tell you, if it's a normal day, he won't be. Hey, Casey.
If it's a normal day, I won't be. What are you talking about?
I'm kidding you, man.
You're just over there running. You're just talking about hot air. I listened to you on the way over here talking about all the hot air, and I was like, I know where all the hot air is coming from, straight out of Dan.
Hear me.
See, that's a fine. How do you do it, Larry? That's no way. You need to. I'm tell you what. I've got a copy of How to Win Friends and Influence People. Will you please read it? And Larry, read to you aloud.
I wish
you
you would read it. I really do. We could get it like book on CD for you.
I tell you what, I do love books on CD, but there are no CDs anymore. But on my phone, listen to it. Whatever. Do you do that, Doc?
No, I don't. I listen to Fox News.
That's great.
Oh man. Okay.
Hey, Uncle Bubba, your niece Brianna said to tell you hi. So I saw her right before I left Trenton.
What? So, well, I tell you this. Will you tell her I said hi right back to her?
I will when I see her tomorrow.
Well, I don't mean right now.
When I see her
tomorr's fine.
Will it? I'll call her if you want to.
It's not time. For crying out loud, tomorrow's fine. It's not time sensitive. I tell you, Larry, they're going to drive me crazy over here.
Drive you crazy?
I tell you, I don't know how you...
With a bad landing.
Did you hear that, Doc?
I did.
Mental health is a serious condition.
Well, you need help then.
I'm telling you, there is no... You can't... You try to get some sympathy in here, Larry. You ain't going to get it. When they know you're hurting, they pile on you here. I'm telling you, it's...
Larry is your enforcer. He's not paid to give you warm
advice.
fuzzies.
Yeah, he's not paid to give you advice either.
I'm not asking for advice. What I'm doing is I'm getting him worked up into a lather. We go to timeouts, and you're going to find out what's probably he'll probably start out with a pimp slap right across your face. You'll find out what the back of his hand tastes like.
You know what they say, pimp it ain't easy.
Did you hear that, Larry? There's no respect whatsoever towards
right.
you.
Yeah,
what do you mean he's right?
Pimp is not easy.
Larry, what do you mean he's right?
Pimping ain't easy.
Hard out here for a pimp. What you talking about?
Doc, I apologize for it.
No problem.
You don't need to hear all this
with
talk.
all this women's lib going around, it's hard to keep things under control.
You think that it's well? I have read where some people believe that one of the problems is that men in America today are too soft.
That's true. That is
very
100% true.
That's very true.
I don't have that problem.
Except for KC, he's the wrestling master.
Mike was hot.
Master, M-A-S-T-E-R. Not
That's funny.
Mike was hot.
It's Casey's.
I'm a very intelligent person.
Yeah, and on the other side, Casey's here as well. And we'll chat with Casey when we get back to the Stop It Wednesday. We need you to stop it.
You have really made me upset.
If there's anything that's upsetting you, let us know. We'll be right back here. Casey, it's great to see you.
It's good to see you too,
and
Uncle Bubba.
I tell you, I enjoy hanging out and talking with people that I care. Relationships that's the key to happiness. Casey and Dr. Fowler and Larry, a big part of my life. Great to have you all here. And we'll be right back. Stay right there here on News Talk 96.5 and also newstalk965.com. And download our free mobile apps. They fit Apple and they fit Android products. Just go to your app store if you have an Apple product and type in News Talk 96.5 FM. And if you have Android, go to your Google Play Store and type in News Talk 96.5 FM and download our free mobile apps. And if it's free, I'll take 3. An update on the weather. We will be with you tonight. Casey, I was driving over. Did you just drive over from Trenton?
Sure did. It's raining, but it's not too bad. We had a little big gust of wind earlier. Took my garbage cans from the side of the building all the way to the street. But
it was curious in the Mayoral debate. Larry, did you notice Dale Hubbard, his big issue was the color of the garbage cans from Waste Management. Did you?
It's true. It's absolutely true.
He said they're green. I mean, they're green. They're green, he says.
Well, what color do you want them to be?
That I don't. I'm going to call him, see if we can get him on the program and ask him about that. Because I want him to also. Dale, if you're elected mayor, what are you going to do about these trees? They're green. They're stinking green.
This is WBFG 96.5 FM, 96.5 FM, Parker's Crossroads, Jackson.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. More tornadoes and storms threaten parts of the Midwest and South, where at least 32 people were killed over the last several days from severe weather. Julie Walker has more in this report.
Missouri officials say multiple people were killed early this morning by a tornado that was on the ground for about 15 minutes and traveled up to 20 miles. This tornado in Iowa, tweeted by TMX Adrian SFG, one of many over the last several days, with more to come, says Storm Prediction Center meteorologist John Hart.
Damaging winds were probably the main threat, but there will be the potential of a few tornadoes along the entire extent of the line.
That line stretching from lower Michigan all the way through Illinois, Ohio, Missouri, Tennessee, down into parts of Texas.
There will be more systems like this all spring, unfortunately.
I'm Julie Walker.
Also at townhall.com, Mexico's president says he opposes the charges brought against former U.S. President Donald Trump. President Andrés Manuel López Obrador says he thinks the charges are political, electoral in nature. At a news conference in Brussels, NATO Secretary Jens Stoltenberg warns of profound consequences should China start sending weapons and ammunition to Russia.
When it comes to China, of course, we are monitoring very closely what China does. Any provision of lethal aid to Russia from China will be a big mistake with profound consequences.
Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has won new pledges of military and economic cooperation on a state visit to staunch ally Poland. It's a mixed close on Wall Street. The Dow ahead 80 points today, but the Nasdaq was down 129. More at townhall.com.
It's Prager here. Sue and I mean it. Dogs are part of our family. We love Otto and Snoopy so much. There's nothing quite like their loyal companionship. So we provide them with Rough Greens. In fact, I just talked to my wife about it because we want them to be healthy and we want them to be with us as long as possible. That's true. I know Sebastian Gorka feels the same way.
The Pragers and I couldn't agree more. Our pups, Killian and Leia, rely on us to provide what's best for them. And naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black has packed Rough Greens full of vitamins, minerals, digestive enzymes, omega oils, and more that supplement their food in a way that has shown us great results. Trying out Rough Greens is an easy yes, recommended by me, Dr. G.
Naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black here, and I'm so proud that the Pragers and Sebastian Gorka have entrusted their dog's health to Rough Greens. I'm so confident that Rough Greens can help your dog, I'm offering you a free Jumpstart trial bag. Just cover the shipping. Yes, your dog's food is dead food, but you can bring it back to life with Rough Greens. Go to ruffgreens.com.
Israeli police have stormed the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem's Old City, firing stun grenades at Palestinian youths who hurl stones.
This is a pattern of events we've seen before, people barricading themselves inside the mosque and Israeli police going in. But I think the reason people are watching very carefully now is that it has the potential to spiral into a wider conflict. Rockets being fired from Gaza overnight, and also the Israeli airstrikes on Gaza. Militant groups in Gaza say several sites have been targeted by Israeli strikes since the clashes at Al-Aqsa.
The BBC's Lucy Williamson. The UN says it cannot accept a Taliban decision. The UN has been informed by Afghanistan's ruling Taliban that Afghan women would no longer be allowed to work for the world body. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Thanks to a strong first quarter sales of the Chevy Bolt, General Motors has knocked crosstown rival Ford out of second place in the U.S. electric vehicle sales race.
General Motors EV sales of just under 21,000 remain far below those of industry leader Tesla, which delivered more than 161,000 vehicles in the U.S. from January to March. That's according to MotorIntelligence.com. Ford sold only 10,900 EVs during the quarter. The company says that's largely because it had to stop making the top-selling Mustang Mach-E while it retooled a factory in Mexico. Rich Thomason reporting.
The EPA tightening rules from coal-fired power plants that will lower emissions of mercury and other toxic pollutants that can harm brain development of young children and contribute to heart attacks in adults. More of these stories at townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
King Jewelers is not your typical jewelry store. It's an iconic symbol of love. Custom-made jewelry to suit the most discriminating taste. Or you can redesign an old piece that's just sitting in a jewelry box. Create something completely new and unique. Grover has over 40 years experience as a certified jeweler. Visit KingJewelerJackson.com. King Jewelers at 16B Conrad Drive, Jackson. Follow King Jewelers Jackson on social media for special savings.
News Talk 96.5 FM weather presented by Dustin Ring. Dustin buys houses fast for cash. Call Dustin now, 731-200-1362. Wednesday brings more thunderstorms and gusty winds. Some storms may be severe with frequent lightning and heavy rainfall with a high of 77. Showers and thunderstorms are likely overnight. Some thunderstorms may produce small hail with a low of 52. Dustin Ring, Dustin buys houses fast for cash. Call Dustin now, 731-200-1362. DustinBuys.com.
It's always severe weather season in West Tennessee. When severe weather strikes, we are here for you. 96.5 FM, News Talk WTN.com.
It's Wednesday. It's a Stop It Wednesday on the program. If you like something to stop, here's what you do, and we'll do our best. Now, understand, don't expect too much from us. We have limited power, plus we enjoy the leisure more than most. Don't we, Larry?
We do.
Yes, we do.
Believe me, that's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's called, we're in touch with our, well, Larry with his feminine side.
You know, one of these days,
he's going to kill me, isn't
he's going to bust the cap on you. You're going to push him over the limit, and
he'll send you to the moon, man.
That's right.
You know, I've considered that a couple of times.
Going to the
moon. But then I thought, I've got to be able to get my foot on his neck.
We're going to use a ladder.
Larry, don't criticize yourself. Do not criticize yourself like that. Maybe to get over your belly, maybe so, but don't be so hard on yourself. It's did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure I hear things sometimes.
Well, we know you have voices in your head, bro.
It's not just voices.
There ain't much else in there.
My name's. That sounded like an insult to me. I'm going to write it down and I'm going to think about it later.
It was a veiled insult.
It was a veiled insult. It very was.
What does that mean, Larry?
It means you don't know whether it was or not.
Yeah, you're regurgitating what you've heard the adults talk about. You don't. My anger management classes. I've been told I should try to get a refund. I don't know exactly what that means, but my name's Dan Reeves. Dr. Mark Fowler.
Yes, sir.
Is in the house, and ain't no doubt he's here. Larry Newman. Hello, Newman.
Hello, Reeves.
Larry, it's great to see you, my friend. Will you please give me some warning before you do snap and go all postal? And I don't even think you should say that anymore. Post office, they've been acting really kind. They pale into comparison to everything else that's going on with the violence in America today. And Casey Gold is in the house.
I am here, Uncle Bubba.
Hi, Casey.
How are you, sir?
Doing fantastic. How about you, sir?
I am doing wonderful.
Doc, this man right here, his work ethic, second to none. I've watched him in action. I'm telling you right now, and watch him handle Jerry the King Lawler. When I say handle him, I mean, Mr. Lawler, you need some more coffee? What can I get you, sir? How about a shrimp dinner? And Lawler said, well, get out of the way, would you, kid? No, that's not what happened. This man has the respect of the king.
He does.
Absolutely. And when I saw that, I said, you know what? I think I'm going to be kind to him. That's pretty strong. Casey Gold is a fantastic human being with work ethic, and I mean that. Proud of you, Casey. We didn't have much hope for you. We
they
thought,
had more hope for me than they had for you, but that's
you see that attitude. That's not cool. But we thought, well, if he reaches his potential, that would mean he would avoid the penitentiary. That's but he's done well.
I'm not swearing that I avoided the penitentiary.
And our office equipment is we bought it from his company, and and KC is unlike some companies. When you call for support, they answer it here in West Tennessee, and a lot of times it's KC, and he gets right over here.
That is true.
Casey. I tell you, that is the way it used to be and the way it ought to be, the customer service.
I would 100% agree with you. And when it comes to customer service, that's the name of the game. In any business where you deal with the public, and you've got to take care of your customers.
So it makes me want to brag on you and thank you, see, because it's just a testimonial to your company, and we depend on you and your company, because if I'm trying to print off something because I never know that when somebody's going to come in and wants me to print off a photo of me so that I could autograph it for them.
That's what keeps breaking the machine.
So I went ahead and printed off several of them. I think 100 of them that I printed off last year. I still have all those in the office. But one day, there's going to be a flurry, I'm convinced. But Casey, you're going to be a part of our launch party that's coming up on Friday, April the 21st, right here at News Talk World headquarters in the parking lot. We're going to have a live band, and they are one of the hottest bands in the state of Alabama. And they're going to be playing like top 40. They'll get into grunge, some country. They are fantastic, y'all. And Melissa, what's the name of this band? What?
I can't hear.
I can't hear you. Can you call in? It's 731-265-6496. Okay, Larry, you're in trouble now. Larry, this is Larry's fault. What's the name of the band? Tremaine. Now, why'd they name it Tremaine? There's a guy named Tremaine. Who? Okay, we need to sit down with him because we're in marketing. I don't like that name. How long have they had it? 12. Yeah, it's not too late. I think that. Tremaine. Look. Only 3 times in 12 years? That's unacceptable. Okay.
Now,
Larry, see, that's disrespect coming from Melissa. It's no, I'm kidding. Melissa, I'm sorry. I didn't mean any of that.
Off the deep end.
Dan has gone all out, spared no expense. There's going to be free tepid water, ice is extra, and a large case of Vienna sausages and crackers for the food.
Health food. We're going organic health food.
Really nice.
Organic health.
Yeah.
And cheese whiz.
Yeah.
And he didn't call me for us to do wrestling out here in the parking lot.
We need to do that.
Yeah.
We need to do that. Can you get the midgets here for midget wrestling?
Well, I can. How much money you got? What's your budget? What's in your budget?
Buying a sausage and
cheese whiz.
Can we swap it out for some cheese whiz?
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I just got summoned by the boss.
Okay, so we may not see him again. Yep. Melissa just pointed at Casey and said, "Out here." Now she
said, "I need you." So there's the big difference. She didn't tell Dan, "I need you."
No.
She said,
come to think of it, she's never said those words to me.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so,
she's channeling Leo Sayer.
Why don't you channel Elvis like Larry and those 3 guys did, and they heard? Do you know this story, Doc?
No.
They did a Ouija board.
No, we didn't do a Ouija board.
What was it?
We did a seance.
A seance.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it by a mile. What's the stinking difference? You're trying to tap into the devil. I know what you're doing. So then, I don't know how much cocaine was involved, Larry. I'm not accusing you of anything, but normal people don't do that. Sit around 3-4 guys. Hey, guy, what?
Who says this is all guys?
I assumed it was. How many women?
It was 2 guys and 2 girls.
Okay, kind of freaky there, and et cetera. Okay. Oh, yeah, no wonder they left you because you cannot bore a woman. It's sitting around and say, let's do a seance to see if we can get Elvis to show up. Dead Elvis.
They were all into it.
Fat Elvis.
Did Elvis show up?
Yeah.
He did.
Larry says they're. How did y'all summon Elvis through this seance? How did you do that?
We lit a candle. We held hands. And we said, who do we want to summon? And we said, let's summon Elvis. And we said, the spirit of Elvis coming down. And we heard a,
there you go. That's definitive
and
proof.
that was it. Blew the candle out, lights came on, that was over.
Larry, if I never hear you do ever again in my life, it'll be too many times already.
You need to make a button.
Okay,
with that on it.
You're going to have to pronounce your words. I have no idea what you just said. We need to bake a button.
You need to make a hot button with that on it.
With what on it?
I eat some
It's not going to happen.
Now you're going to tell them April 21st.
Doc just got me back on
On
track
the parking
here.
lot,
Doc
5 to 7 p.m.
Doc says, listen, we need to get you on Ritalin quickly. So it's our launch party, and Doc's going to be here. Larry Newman's going to be here. Truman.
Tremaine.
Is it
Tremaine? Seriously.
Like Johnny Tremaine.
Yes.
Okay, whatever. They get 3-time Band of the Year in Alabama. That's
Right.
serious because you got that Alabama Gulf Coast, and you got those casinos. So that's a lot of talent down there. And this band has been 3 times the Alabama Band of the Year. Melissa's husband is the drummer. Yeah, Larry, if you want to know why it's on Curvy Girl, they're not attracted to you, is because you're too clean cut. They like the hippie type, the bad boy, like the drummer in a band. So you need to learn to play guitar.
And wear a mullet.
Yeah, the mullet.
I'm a singer. I'm not a guitar player.
Oh, that's Larry. Did you know Larry's a musician?
I did not know that.
Yeah. So Larry, you're a lead singer?
Yep. Songwriter, lead singer.
There you go.
Sure did. He wrote it was a song that was a hit for Culture Club. Do You Really Want to Hurt Me? Larry wrote that.
I bet Larry has more talent in his little finger than most people have in their whole body.
I think you're probably right about that. It's you're invited, folks, to our launch party. It's going to be the grand opening, ribbon cutting with the Chamber of Commerce. Kyle Spurgeon, who's doing a remarkable job for the Jackson Area-wide Chamber of Commerce. He's the president and CEO. Being a president ain't enough. Kyle is great. Have you met Kyle Spurgeon?
Yeah, I have.
Great guy. Isn't he, Larry? You know
Yeah,
this
he
guy.
is,
He's
yeah.
doing a wonderful job. It's launch party and business after hours. Food, drinks, entertainment, prizes. And if you come down here with your business card, if you own a business, then you get free advertising for your business by just attending. Okay? So we are local. We're about our local people. Are we, Doc and Larry?
Absolutely.
Yes. You can register your business at the registration booth, and good luck to all of you because we got some tremendous prizes we're giving away and some businesses that are going to be here. Budweiser, Central Distributors, their tents, and I've asked Mike, the general manager, I'm going to have to go over his head, I think, to Mike McWhirter, and if that don't work, I'm going to have to go to Budweiser Corporate. I would like to have the Clydesdales here. I don't see why that's a big deal not to Mo to get the Clydesdales here. And he kind of told me, look, I don't have time to keep talking about this kid. But at least a pony. You guys have a pony or baby Clydes? We need Clydesdales. But Budweiser, they do such a remarkable job. And Larry, you know this. We've been here a long time, and they have given back to this community for a long time. They run advertisement on responsible drinking. Aren't they? They're great people.
They are.
They really are.
They really are.
And there are friends. They'll be here, Budweiser, Central Distributors. And Jared, talked with him, managing partner for the Blacksmith Restaurant downtown Jackson, and also in Dyersburg, and certainly Ian and Solanco. They're going to be here with a lot of food. And Melissa, we need a list of who all's going to be here, businesses, so you'll be able to have some great food. And Doc and I, we eat healthy, so we're going to swing by and get some organic wieners and pigs in blankets. And what else, Doc, did you have on the list? It's health food.
Sardines.
Sardines. Are you kidding me?
Twinkies.
Larry, I caught your breath. It smells like a sardines underarm.
Twinkies ought to be classified as organic.
Jeez, wouldn't it be? If life were fair, you'd be able to lay on the couch, watch ESPN all day, and eat Twinkies and not gain a pound.
It's mostly air anyway.
Yeah, you're right about that.
It is. And they don't degrade. You can keep them in the rear part of your car, and it'll be good in 10 years. Tastes the same.
That's true.
It is true.
I'm going to start prepping. I think I'm going to load up on Twinkies.
Twinkies would be a great idea.
Twinkies and semi-automatic rifles. By the way, did you see where U.S. Congressman Andy Ogles made Saturday Night Live? Saturday Night Live has featured the governor of Tennessee,
lieutenant
governor of Tennessee,
yeah.
And now one of the newly elected U.S. congressmen for Tennessee, former mayor of Maury County, Andy Ogles, who's been on with us several times through the years. He's not answering the phone since he was elected U.S. congressman. But when he was mayor of Maury County, he'd drive down here. Now, Andy, I'm kidding. I know he's kind of busy, but call me back, would you? It certainly affect my.
Is this the one had the Christmas card with the AR-15?
Yes, yeah. He and his family. That was kind of weird. Nothing says the birth of our Savior like semi-automatic weapons.
Well.
And I like Andy.
Yeah, I don't. That is odd. That's just weird. The AR-15.
Yeah, but Andy spent quite a bit of time with, Newt Gingrich. I think he worked for him when Andy was a young man. And so now it kind of all makes sense.
Okay.
That's why he has the semi-automatics. But the launch party, and Doc, we're looking forward to that as we launch. We continue to make strides, and Doc coming on board is certainly a blessing for us. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, sir.
And Larry Newman is here too.
Yep.
But no, Larry's. A lot of people that listen to the show may not know Larry and I have been friends for 30 years, Larry, I guess. Larry's one of the most kind-hearted individuals I've ever met.
Truly is.
And thank you, Larry.
You're welcome.
Speaking of Larry and local issues, let's let Larry talk about the weather if he's got that queued up.
I tell you, Larry, we're going to get to that here in just 1 second because, Doc, you're right. We need to run down the weather. Casey, are you okay?
I'm fine. I had to go fix something for Melissa.
See, right on cue. Customer service. The name of your business is what?
Office World Inc. in Trenton, Tennessee.
How do we find you? Can you people buy online and see what you have online?
You can. We actually, Dan, with the help of our good friend Josh, we just launched our website, Office World Inc. officeworldinc.com.
Awesome.
So yes.
So we build websites. We just built the brand new website for Casey for Office World Inc. And because every product you can shake a stick at for your business, you'll find online.
You've got it. We've got new and pre-owned office furniture. We've got new and off-lease copy machines and fax machines, printers, scanners, all the good stuff there. We actually have a full-scale print shop, and we do pretty much everything you need for your office. You can get right there.
See, he's lost a little bit of punch. He didn't have the energy that segment after Melissa got through with him. He's humble. He's got his hat in his hand.
Yes, he does.
Now, and you can. What about your office? Can people stop in there?
Absolutely. We're located at 106 South High Street in Trenton, Tennessee, and you can find us there just about every single day, unless I'm over here on the radio with Dan.
But I don't know, but I detect there was a insult in there somewhere. Maybe I'm just paranoid.
That wasn't an insult. That was truth.
Well, I'm glad you are here. And Doc said, I really enjoy Casey being on the program. I was like, okay, now who you talking about, Casey? And he said, Casey, Casey Gold? He said, yes. I said,
I love Doc.
Never heard
Doc's
of him.
great.
we're all right.
Okay, fine.
And
glad you two fell in love all over again.
Here we go.
Jeez. It's lady. What happened? He stole my friend Doc. I know what's going on. I was just saying things.
I was trying to trade you in for Doc. That's what I was trying to do.
I've done the same thing. Let's take a look at weather presented by Dustin Ring. Dustin buys houses fast for cash. Houses, trailers, land. And if you need to sell fast, call Dustin. Dustin buys houses fast for cash at 731-200-1362, 731-200-1362. Dustin buys houses, 731-200-1362. Dustin buys .com. Larry, I tell you, here we go again, but we may get lucky this time around. What's the latest weather, Larry?
Currently in Jackson, it's 63 degrees, 40% chance of light rain. Showers, thunderstorms likely mainly in the evening. Breezy and less humid with lows in the upper 40s. West winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, becoming north 15 to 20 miles per hour with gusts up to 30 miles per hour after midnight. Chance of rain near 100%.
So it sounds like there's a pretty good chance of rain, doesn't it?
Yes.
Sounds that way.
Near 100%. Well, Larry, thank you very much. And checking the latest Doppler weather radar. We have a Doppler, and we've been accused of bragging about it, but we feel like we got to tell you.
Just fact.
That's right. We're name dropping here, folks. Checking the Doppler weather radar, and it's also color coded.
That way you can read it.
It's like those cash registers at Burger King. They just put the picture of it.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you spell Whopper? Don't worry about it. Look at the stinking picture. A lot of it has moved to the east of us, but if looking the way this system is tracking, it's continuing to feed moisture right out of the Gulf of Mexico, right out of the Houston metro area. By the way, they have Shipley's Donuts, maybe the best donuts on planet Earth. The perfect food, a donut, I tell you.
Daylight Donuts are the best, though.
Daylight. Is that a brand?
Yes.
Where's that out of?
Well, I don't know where it's out of, but around here, when we were growing up, it was Daylight Donuts. You got one right down the street.
What did you buy them at?
You bought them at the donut shop.
Oh, so that's the name of the donut shop, Daylight Donuts?
Yeah.
There's one down the street?
There's right down the street now.
Doc, did you know that?
I did not know that, but let me give you an important safety tip. You know, donuts have about 400 calories, but if you break it in half and shake it, a good many of those calories will come out. So
then we can eat all we want,
you
right?
can eat all you want.
This man right here is brilliant, folks. I like the way you
thank you. People don't know
I'm trying that tomorrow, Doc.
Looking out for the public is all I'm doing.
Thank you, Doc. So that's the we are going to get some more rain, folks. And what Larry said, here's an update from the National Weather Service. Folks, this is a fluid situation. And we are keeping up with this as we follow yet another developing weather situation. Tonight, showers and breezy. And Larry, I think breezy has been redefined. It's 30 miles per hour. It used to be strong wind around here. Somebody's going to lose a wig over this. If you wear a wig, I'd go chin strap or Gorilla Glue, or you'll be out on the bypass looking for your wig.
I was going to say, I wondered why you had that Gorilla Glue out in there on your desk.
That's because my wig, it blew off this morning. Me and Larry had to go over to AutoZone and get it. Somebody that's in a Bronco had pulled up.
Parked right on top of it, didn't they?
Yep. And so that led to a confrontation because by this time I'm pretty PO'd. I mean, I was awake this morning. And so, yeah, we got it back though, didn't we, Larry? So
we got it back.
I'll have to comb it out tonight, but I didn't have time today. Just put it back on.
Yeah, that's why it looks like it does.
Thank you. And so showers and breezy tonight, lows in the upper 40s. So we're going to drop about 40 degrees from our afternoon.
In 24 hours, yeah.
Yep.
That's impressive.
But inside here, because the air conditioner's out, it feels like Florida, doesn't it?
It's a little warm in here, man.
Jeez, it's warm in here.
And well, you started sweating when Melissa walked in, so I knew you got a little worried there for a second.
That's because I know things that you don't. When there's nobody else around, what happens? Desks get flipped over. Tables get flipped over. So it's We could have gusts up to 30 miles per hour tonight. So there you go. That's the latest. The weather will continue to follow this developing weather situation.
I know how we can cut those gusts down to 20. All we got to do is get Dan to not talk. We get Dan to not talk, it'll cut the air, the breeze.
Yeah, they could, all right.
Yeah, probably is this is a talk show. Okay, so you obviously not a brain surgeon.
I never said I was.
Now, before you do claim that, I thought I would do a preemptive strike for crying out loud. We're at the Gene Langley Ford Studio. By the way, is Gibson County boys, the Strawberry Festival coming up the first full week in May should be what is this, the 177th, or it's nearly 100 years old, the Strawberry Festival.
It is.
That is awesome.
We got the Teapot Festival coming up the week before that.
That's that impressive. Hey, I tell you, Teapot people.
It's impressive for me.
Teapots, I don't get excited about teapots. Do you, Larry?
I've played the Teapot Festival several times.
That's what I'm saying. It's not drawing
down there.
You don't draw exactly world-class entertainment. My proof right there.
Well, we've got a wrestling show there on Thursday for the Teapot Festival.
Okay, I'm gonna back up on that too. Actually, I've got a lot of friends in Trenton. I kid you about the Teapots.
You got a lot of family in Trenton.
I do.
You got a lot of family in Trenton.
They're
I run into them all the time.
Yeah, they're strange, but they're still family. No, I'm kidding you. I got a wonderful family. Don't I have a wonderful family?
Do you give them their sympathies?
Do I give them their sympathies?
That's why.
Let me handle the big words. You're good on the and and the. Okay.
All right, Dan.
we got to get a timeout. We'll come right back. We had a lot to get into. We had State Representative Chris Todd. We chatted with him last hour. What's going on in Nashville? We're going to get back into some national debate right now going on with the indictments, the arrest of former President Donald Trump and the police officer that let the door slam on his nose. Did you see that?
I did not.
Did you see that, Doc?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he did. Did you see it, Larry?
No, I didn't see that.
My guys are on top of everything. Pardon me.
We're investigating news. We ain't got time to watch it.
No, I was there. And I had a journal in my hand as well. And students that have walked out of schools across Tennessee earlier this week, I want to get into that, get your thoughts on it. And there's a lot of breaking news here locally as well we're going to get to in Jackson across West Tennessee. As we check the pulse of West Tennessee from the Gene and Langley Ford Studio in Jackson. And I tell you, they're offering something new, concierge service within a 15-mile radius at Gene Langley Ford. Check this out. Sounds like something you would do, Casey. And that's a compliment. Is that for service, if you set your service visit, they will come, let's just say, if you're at the office, they'll come to your office and pick your vehicle up, take it back to Gene Langley Ford, change the oil, whatever you need service-wise, and then bring it right back to you at home or your office. Now that, my friend, is stepping it up. Customer service at its best, and with any new car, truck, or SUV purchase at GeneLangleyFord.com, you get a lifetime warranty. What else can they do, folks? I mean, maybe make some pancakes for you, but that'd be about the only thing they don't do.
I have a question. I was coming into town yesterday.
Yes, sir.
And there's a billboard next to an automobile dealership, and in big letters in red on the bottom it says, "We do not offer a lifetime guarantee." What is that about? Why would you advertise that?
It's an excellent question.
And the only thing I could think of is they've come from Gene Langley Ford over to this place, and the first thing out of their mouth is, "Do you have a lifetime guarantee?"
Yeah, that could be, Doc. You may be on to it.
I don't know.
Now, I've in many of my relationships, I've said that right off the bat. I do not offer a lifetime guarantee, but that's different. I'm not. That was personal.
Yeah, you're not selling a car.
My man's brilliant, and let me tell you, I'm not threatening you, but that Jeep that I have, that I got from Gene Langley Ford, is a nice riding vehicle, unless you happen to be underneath it. So you may have taken that as a threat, but it wasn't meant that way. It's my way of saying hello. How you doing? And also, our phone lines presented by CWA Developments. They are the best of the best of the best. They're going to be doing some work with Gina's and John's because they had a leak upstairs. And that geez, have you guys ever had water damage to your house?
Oh, yeah. It's the worst.
Absolutely.
Oh, Casey, I know when you say water damage, you mean your water bed don't work anymore. But
I've never owned a water bed.
I have.
I tried
have
to
you,
sleep.
Doc?
I tried
yes,
to sleep
I
on
have.
one.
also a pain in the neck because they leak and you don't realize it. And then the next thing you know, the carpet is moldy. So I'm glad we're past that.
You couldn't get a waterbed today if you wanted to, could you?
No.
Larry, did you own a waterbed?
No, I didn't. I get seasick.
Did you have a lava light?
I doubt your waterbed's moving
No,
around.
I never had a lava light either.
All right. Larry's old school. He didn't have water beds and lava
I don't
lights.
believe a word he says. 'Cause if you're telling me that man isn't an old reformed hippie, I'm not sitting here. He was in a band in the 60s, free love and all that garbage. Why would you get in a band if you wasn't wanting to get in on that?
I was in a band when I was 8.
When you were 8.
Well, that would be the 60s.
All right, whatever. CWA Developments, commercial and residential maintenance, restoration and renovation, fire and water damage restoration, plumbing, gutter, roof, and window cleaning, wood repairs like a privacy fence. And many of us have taken damage with our privacy fence with all this high wind, now classified as breezy. I've got 2 new trampolines in the last 3 weeks. It's not because of a breeze. It's because of straight line winds. They do all this, folks. And they're local people with 80 years experience. CWA Developments, wonderful human beings. Open Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Commercial and residential maintenance, restoration, and renovation. 731-503-9598. Pardon me. And on Sundays for emergencies, call that same number and they'll come right out. They are marvelous human beings. CWA Developments. The phone number to get in, and we're going to open it up when we come back, is 731-265-6496. 731-265-6496. That's the phone number. Get up in here. Have we not done enough? We've had the stinking state representative on whispering on the floor of the State House, haven't we, Larry?
Yes, we
What
have.
else can we do? Get up in here. 731-265-6496. That's the phone number. Don't be scared. Sorry, I apologize. That's not exactly welcoming, is it? Please call us. I won't hurt you. 731-800-TEXT. That's the text line. Presented by Advanced Rehab and Medical, AdvancedRehabJackson.com. AdvancedRehabJackson.com. Dr. Shannon Bone ranked in the top 10 for chiropractors on Earth. 731-800-TEXT. 731-800-8398. We're going to get into it with our roundtable when we return. And by the way, the original Nintendo was released in America on this date in 1985. It was only sold in New York City as a test market. And it failed miserably. Nintendo gave it a second test a few months later in Los Angeles, and it did a lot better. Nintendo. Larry, did you own a Nintendo?
Oh, yeah.
What was your favorite game?
Donkey Kong.
I figured that.
And Super Mario Brothers.
What about you, Doc? Did you
Never owned one. Never did.
Did you ever have a home video game?
No, back in that time, I was in law school and every penny counted, so we didn't fool around with video games.
You are fake news.
No. What about you, Casey?
I owned one a little later than 1985, but my favorite one was Duck Hunt.
Oh, jeez. I got that for Christmas one year when I was a kid. It held my attention for about, 5 minutes. This thing, the graphics, but I said, this is the stinking thing. You end up pistol whipping my grandfather over to... With that Duck Hunt pistol.
Well, you wouldn't.
It didn't hurt him, but
you didn't try the trick shots over your shoulder.
We'll be right back, jeez. Stay right there.
When the game goes into overtime, but the game goes into overtime. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Central Distributors, Jackson.
Hi, my name's Dawn. I have been taking BioT at Advanced Medical. My moods are better. I sleep well. My husband has complimented me on the mood swings that are no longer affecting our marriage.
Are these problems affecting your work, your relationships, and your quality of life? You'll be happy to know there's an exciting, natural solution available called BioT. BioT uses a natural way for men and women to correct these problems by safely and accurately balancing hormone levels without the use of synthetic injections or cream.
I got blood work done, and they identified what hormones were out of balance. They gave me the bioidentical hormone pellets through BioT, and now I have more energy, no more brain fog, I'm sleeping better, and I feel like my old self again. I would recommend Advanced Rehab and Medical and their BioT program to anyone suffering with symptoms like mine. It's been life-changing.
To book your appointment, call 731-462-8580. That's 731-462-8580.
Hey y'all, this is Mary at Mulligan's. Come see us soon before the new wears off. Hard to believe, but we're coming upon an anniversary in our locally family-owned business at Union University Drive. We still have our daily lunch specials, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., which will remind you of Grandma's cooking. Or try our Irish dishes, fish and chips, Reuben's and shepherd's pie, or everyone's favorite, the Mully Burger. And how about brunch on Saturdays and Sundays? Yep, every weekend, serving Jackson for over 25 years. See you soon at Mulligan's.
Are you looking to move up in your career, change career paths, or maybe even thinking about finishing that degree you started? Jackson State Community College is here to help you greenlight your career. If you're 23 and older, you may qualify to go to college tuition-free through Tennessee Reconnect. Yes, you heard that right, tuition-free at Jackson State. Whether you're earning your degree for the first time to advance your career or finishing a degree you already started, Jackson State Community College is here to greenlight your career. It's time to take the next step in earning your degree. Learn how at jscc.edu/reconnect.
Hi, my name's Dawn. I have been taking BioT at Advanced Medical. My moods are better. I sleep well. My husband has complimented me on the mood swings that are no longer affecting our marriage.
Are these problems affecting your work, your relationships, and your quality of life? You'll be happy to know there's an exciting, natural solution available called BioT. BioT uses a natural way for men and women to correct these problems by safely and accurately balancing hormone levels without the use of synthetic injections or cream.
I got blood work done, and they identified what hormones were out of balance. They gave me the bioidentical hormone pellets through BioT, and now I have more energy, no more brain fog, I'm sleeping better, and I feel like my old self again. I would recommend Advanced Rehab and Medical and their BioT program to anyone suffering with symptoms like mine. It's been life-changing.
To book your appointment, call 731-462-8580. That's 731-462-8580.
Looking to add a little spice to your love life?
Nothing adds spice like gunpowder.
Jackson's only indoor shooting range, date night at the range. Here's what you lovebirds get: a shooting lane for two targets, 100 rounds of ammo, eye and ear protection, and a $30 gift certificate to Texas Roadhouse. All for just $99.99.
Now that's firepower.
Perfect for a gift card from the range. The Range, 2310 North Highland Avenue in Jackson.
Go to therange.com.
News Talk 96.5 FM weather presented by Dustin Ring. Dustin buys houses fast for cash. Call Dustin now, 731-200-1362. Wednesday brings more thunderstorms and gusty winds. Some storms may be severe with frequent lightning and heavy rainfall with a high of 77. Showers and thunderstorms are likely overnight. Some thunderstorms may produce small hail with a low of 52. Dustin Ring, Dustin buys houses fast for cash. Call Dustin now, 731-200-1362. DustinBuys.com.
It's always severe weather season in West Tennessee. When severe weather strikes, we're here for you. 96.5 FM, News Talk WTN.com.
We're about to get jiggy with it right after the news. We've got a round table, so to speak. Dan Reeves, Dr. Mark Fowler, Larry Newman. Hello, Newman.
Hello, Reeves.
And Casey Gold. When we return, we're going to break it down country style for you. That's next on News Talk 96.5 FM.
This is WBFG 96.5 FM. 96.5 FM. Parker's Crossroads, Jackson.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters reporting. Forecasters are warning of severe weather in the Midwest and South today. The National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center's John Hart says there's a long line of severe weather stretching from lower Michigan all the way through Illinois, Ohio, Missouri, Tennessee, and down into parts of Texas.
Damaging winds were probably the main threat, but there will be the potential of a few tornadoes along the entire extent of the line. And with that in mind, we have severe thunderstorm and tornado watches in place across that entire region.
Meanwhile, in the east, warmer than normal temperatures. The news wasn't all bad for Republicans in Wisconsin despite the loss of a Supreme Court seat there. A special election in Wisconsin has given Republicans a supermajority in the state Senate. Correspondent Jennifer King reports.
Wisconsin Republican Dan Knodel won the race for state Senate at the end of Tuesday's special election. His victory gives Wisconsin Senate Republicans 22 votes, enough to override a governor's veto and impeach other office holders. Wisconsin's assembly is still just 2 votes shy of the 66 they need for a 2/3 override. The state representative defeated Democrat Jody Habush-Sinekin, an environmental attorney with a degree from Harvard, in the race for an open seat in District 8, red-leaning suburbs north of Milwaukee, which had been represented by a Republican incumbent who retired in November. Knodel has said he is not interested in impeaching Governor Tony Evers, but he does want to impeach some Milwaukee judges for being too lenient on criminal defendants. I'm Jennifer King.
A Democrat in the North Carolina State House has switched to the Republican Party in a move that gives the GOP veto-proof control of both chambers of that legislature. Wednesday's switch by Representative Tricia Cotham hands Democratic Governor Roy Cooper a setback. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 80 points, the Nasdaq dropped 129, the S&P lower by 10. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Dennis Prager here. Sue and I mean it when we say dogs are part of our family. We love Otto and Snoopy so much, and there's nothing like their loyal companionship. So we provide them with Rough Greens, R-U-F-F, because we want them to feel healthy and be with us as long as possible. I know Charlie Kirk feels the same way.
The Pragers and I couldn't agree more. I rely on my trusted furry friend, Mr. Briggs, who's an absolute machine, and he relies on me to provide what's best for him. Naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black has packed Rough Greens, not a dog food, but a supplement full of vitamins, minerals, digestive enzymes, and omega oils that Mr. Briggs absolutely needs and loves. Trying Rough Greens for your dog just makes sense.
Greetings, Naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black here. I'm honored that the Pragers and Charlie trust their dog's health to Rough Green. I'm so confident that Rough Green can help your dog too that I'm offering you a free Jumpstart trial bag. Just cover the shipping. Yes, dog food is dead food, but it doesn't have to be. Go to ruffgreens.com
to get started.
The Justice Department has tentatively settled a lawsuit over the 2017 mass shooting at a Texas church.
Victims and their families will be paid more than $144 million. More than 24 people were killed when Devin Patrick Kelly opened fire during a Sunday service at First Baptist Church of Sutherland Springs. Kelly had served in the Air Force before the attack. A U.S. district judge previously said the Air Force was 60% liable for the attack because it failed to submit Kelly's assault conviction during his time in the Air Force to a national database. John Scott reporting.
Kelly had served nearly 5 years in the Air Force before being discharged in 2014 for bad conduct after he was convicted of assaulting a former wife and stepson. The Air Force publicly acknowledged the felony conviction for domestic violence, had it been in the FBI database, could have prevented Kelly from buying guns. News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters. An elite member of Vladimir Putin's security detail is adjusting to a new life in Turkey after defecting from Russia. We hear more from correspondent Charles de Ledesma reporting from London.
This was no ordinary Russian defector. Karakulov, being an officer in President Vladimir Putin's secretive, elite personal security service. Karakulov says, I consider this man, Putin, a war criminal. Although I do not participate specifically in these military activities, I do not consider it possible for me to carry out his criminal orders or even to be in his service. Karakulov's testimony raises critical questions about how deep the Russian public's acceptance of the war runs and how Putin's opponents in the West and beyond might leverage any silent opposition. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
More on these stories available at townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters reporting.
Hi, my name's Dawn. I have been taking BioT at Advanced Medical. My moods are better. I sleep well. My husband has complimented me on the mood swings that are no longer affecting our marriage.
Are these problems affecting your work, your relationships, and your quality of life? You'll be happy to know there's an exciting, natural solution available called BioT. BioT uses a natural way for men and women to correct these problems by safely and accurately balancing hormone levels without the use of synthetic injections or cream.
I got blood work done, and they identified what hormones were out of balance. They gave me the bioidentical hormone pellets through BioT, and now I have more energy, no more brain fog. I'm sleeping better, and I feel like my old self again. I would recommend Advanced Rehab and Medical and their BioT program to anyone suffering with symptoms like mine. It's been life-changing.
To book your appointment, call 731-462-8580. That's 731-462-8580.
What do you think he'll get you this year? Candy? Flowers?
No, I was thinking something more sparkly.
Wow, congratulations. How many carats do you think he'll spring forward?
Girl, forget the ring. I want some of that shiny 45 Automark bling.
At 45 Automark, get a jewelry box full of $1,000 savings just by walking in and saying,
"Show me the bling."
We've had an 18-year clean Carfax successful marriage to our customers, and to keep the romance alive, we're taking $1,000 off so our relationship thrives. Say, "Show me the bling," and carry this loaded leather sunroof Honda CRV over the threshold for $11,900. Pick up this 60,000-mile 2020 Chevy Colorado for just $21,900. Don't fall for Mr. Megadigger with a sappy sales spiel and false love sting when every drive-in your Forever 45 ride will give you the feels like a sweet romance with $1,000 off because you said,
"Show me the bling."
So call 989-8059 or come to 45 Automark today. Wear your $1,000 off the perfect for you ride with that love's in bloom at first sight feeling that'll make you swoon and leave you reeling. Dealer!
Watch Tennessee Championship Wrestling every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on NewsTalkWestTennessee.com.
See all the Memphis legends: Jerry the King Lawler, Dangerous Doug Gilbert, Superstar Bill Dundee, along with stars of today: the Mid-South Prodigy Bam Bam Bundy, MJ Davis, Mr. Marvelous Mike Mayo, Insane Dane, Big Gravy, The Rocket Josh Benson, Lucky P. Larson, and many, many more. You can also view TCW on the News Talk West Tennessee app for all your Apple and Android devices.
Catch Tennessee Championship Wrestling every Saturday at noon on NewsTalkWTN.com.
Looking to add a little spice to your love life?
Nothing adds spice like gunpowder.
Jackson's only indoor shooting range. Date night at the range. Here's what you lovebirds get: a shooting lane for two targets, 100 rounds of ammo, eye and ear protection, and a $30 gift certificate to Texas Roadhouse. All for just $99.99.
Now that's firepower.
Perfect for a gift card from the range. The Range, 2310 North Highland Avenue in Jackson.
Go to therange.com.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Central Distributors, Jackson.
News Talk 96.5 FM weather presented by Dustin Ring. Dustin buys houses fast for cash. Call Dustin now, 731-200-1362. Wednesday brings more thunderstorms and gusty winds. Some storms may be severe with frequent lightning and heavy rainfall with a high of 77. Showers and thunderstorms are likely overnight. Some thunderstorms may produce small hail with a low of 52. Dustin Ring, Dustin buys houses fast for cash. Call Dustin now, 731-200-1362. DustinBuys.com.
News Talk West Tennessee includes NewsTalk965.com and NewsTalk 96.5 FM, covering local news, sports, and weather on an extensive network of platforms, including radio, social media streaming, digital TV, live stream, podcasts, all on your devices. Our local and live weekday lineup includes Daybreak with Greg Wood and G-Unit, Walker Talks with Chuck Walker and Julie Holt, The Dan Reeves Show with Gina Langley and Larry Newman, Dave Ramsey, Jackson-Madison County Schools Game of the Week, UT Vols Sports, and the Memphis Grizzlies. Local, live, News Talk West Tennessee and NewsTalk965.com. Hear it first on News Talk 96.5 FM. We might be talking about you. Get all the latest news, talk, weather, and sports. NewsTalkWTN.com and 96.5 FM.
Do it live. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
9 minutes past 5. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It happens to be right here. My name's Dan Reeves, along with Dr. Mike Fowler. The doctor is in the house.
What say, Dan? How's it going?
Hi, Doc. It's great to... Hi, Doc. As I was saying. Larry Newman. Hello, Newman.
Hello, Reeves.
Hi, Larry. Casey Gold is here as well. Hi, Casey.
How are you, Uncle Bubba?
I'm doing great. I'm not Uncle Bubba.
You're always Uncle Bubba.
I'm not to you. I'm not, Casey.
Well,
Please stand down before you stand up with that
We're
garbage.
gonna call you Lieutenant Dan.
Trash
Lieutenant
coming flying out of your
Dan.
face. That's you. Hey, listen. You want to? You call down the thunder. How'd that go, Larry? Anyway, whatever. Off of the greatest movie of all time. Thank Doc. You let up another notch in my book. Let's get right. We got a full bank of calls standing by the CWA phone lines. CWA specializing in commercial and residential maintenance, restoration, and renovation. 731-503-9598. Fire and water damage restoration and all the above. Phone lines. You'll lead us off this hour live on News Talk 96.5 FM. Good afternoon. How are you?
Oh, good afternoon.
Hello, Big Rick, my friend, my dear friend.
How are you reporting all these thunderstorms as being severe every time it rains around here?
No. Why would you think that?
Well, because that seems to be the standard around your media types. Hopefully you haven't fallen into being scared of thunderstorms producing rain in the state of Tennessee in the spring.
It's a bad time for you. It's a bad time to take this angle.
Actually,
just stand down for half a second here, would you, big guy? We had how many people were killed in McNairy County
9 or 10.
6 days ago, 5 days ago. So it's
yeah, but see this one.
It ain't no but.
No, there is a but. The but is
your butt.
Your
butt's a wide load.
Well, you don't have adequate truthful information coming out of your National Weather Service.
Are you kidding me? Are you serious?
All right, no, I'm not joking with you.
So what do you think they're up to?
Bottom line here, Dan. Let's
Bottom
just
line.
cut through the chase. Yeah, Carroll County over there at Huntington. Okay, Huntington didn't have a Nashville emergency radio, and they also did not have an operating radar system.
Hey, this isn't the mayor's office.
So y'all
now, just a minute. This isn't the complaint department for Huntington. We don't field phone calls for them, for crying out loud. It's the emergency management system works well here, okay? The sirens went off. There was warnings. I was on the air. Larry was on the air. Our weatherman, Brian Thomas, was on the air. He didn't fall into the category of sensationalizing weather. He never mentioned stinking, what is that thing about the Torcon index? He don't play that game. So you're barking up the wrong tree here. And I've seen this dog eat grass before. Call Huntington and complain to Huntington. What do you want us to do about it?
Well, I want you to identify that the tornado development today was in southeast Missouri.
We've said nothing contrary to that. You act like you have breaking news. Dude, that was this morning.
No, you get thunderstorms, and not every thunderstorm, Danny, is severe. And not only
will you write this down, because we didn't know that.
And every thunderstorm does not develop tornadic activity.
Yeah, Larry. But just a minute, you ought to. And can I add to that? Water is wet and the sky is blue. This man is a master at recognizing the obvious.
No, you have the mindset every time there's a thunderstorm that I need rain to grow my flowers.
That's not true.
Have you ever heard that rain days in April make flowers bloom in May? Have you ever heard that?
You actually butchered it. You may as well say it's just spilt milk under the bridge.
No.
Listen, you've got a great opportunity at an education. All you have to do is shut that pie hole and listen to me talk. And
we used to play in storm ditches as a boy around here. I don't know what y'all do.
Yeah, look how you turned out.
You probably had to put on your little galoshes to stand on your front porch because somehow y'all are scared of the wind blowing.
I think you've dialed the wrong number. Because
No, actually, no. You need to go.
Listen, I know you're PO'd about you can't go to a drag queen brunch, but we had nothing to do with that.
No, we stopped that, Danny. We stopped.
Thank
we
God.
stopped that in Las Vegas.
Thank God,
yes,
because
we did.
every time you turn around, you bump into a drag queen brunch. So thanks for doing that. Jeez.
You're so
thanks
vulgar.
for nothing. Vulgar.
You're so vulgar.
Yeah, the truth
You're
is.
so vulgar.
What vulgar?
You want to support.
You need to reach for a dictionary. You don't even know what that means. You overheard the adults say that word, and now you're trying to regurgitate it. It doesn't belong.
Apparently, you don't understand Sodom and Gomorrah either. See? But I do.
Yeah,
apparently you haven't.
I bet you. I've heard of that too. I read that online.
No, I don't think you have. I don't think you've read the first chapter of Romans. I don't think so.
Well, hey, listen. You can read it all day long. It's not what you read. It's how you behave. So you need to get your money back. Is what I'm telling you. It's not taken with you. Yes, yeah, it is. You got a smart mouth. Yeah, you do. You have a smart mouth.
You don't have very much common sense to know that you don't get away with such abomination as going against the natural processes that God has established. And until you tell me you're pregnant, we don't have anything to discuss, Danny.
Well, I'm never going to tell you. I'm never going to tell you that I'm pregnant.
Of nonsense up.
Listen,
Bible.
I got to tell you something, Rick. I don't know if you mean this or if it's just the pills talking. Yeah, I don't know if the drugs have not kicked in yet, or if you got into your wife's. I have no idea what's going on with you. This makes absolutely no sense at all. To call in here and attack us about Huntington's weather system. Are you serious? I'm not responsible, nor is Larry, for Huntington's weather system. And I have a suspicion that they're doing just fine. What did you pick Huntington out of a hat to attack them for?
If Larry wants to build his house in the swamps in Hardeman, Hardin, Huntington, Carroll County's full of swamp area that tornadoes go through on a regular basis. That's why nobody lives in that mess.
Lord of mercy.
So, again, when you expand around here, you haven't touched your little boy in the city hall, in his predecessor.
Look, okay, listen. You're not. Here we go again. I've already told you, we do not allow you or anyone else to get personal and attack local people. Your little boy. Are you serious? You're so jealous of Mayor Conger. And it every time you open that sewer underneath your nose, it flies out of your face. And you attack this man who's done a wonderful job for this city. And I think he's going to be reelected. The jealousy, how envious you are. You need to check that WWJD bracelet that you wear all the time. I'm telling you.
Actually, what you need to do is you need to walk through all the gullies that you claim are drainage paths for your Jackson, Tennessee, is what you really need to do.
I tell you what.
Because you have no idea about a modern-day town in the year 2024.
Yeah, tell us about all your experience with infrastructure. Let me hear it.
2023.
It's 2024. See, you don't even know what year it is. Rick, get a hold of yourself. You shouldn't call talk radio when you're 3 sheets in the wind. That's what I'm telling you. I don't know if... Are you wearing a beer helmet at this moment? What?
While Larry doesn't have anything to do, he needs to go walk the gullies that y'all use as your drainage system.
Yeah,
y'all are pathetic around
here. Folks, if you're traveling through here, anyone from Blue Oval City, do not judge us based off of this phone call. I know he tries to present himself like he's someone of authority. He has no authority whatsoever. The man is unemployed. On his resume has, the only thing on there is the mayor of Idiotville. Now, Rick, I got to tell you.
That's where all the gullies are.
And by the way, you attacking Larry like that's a good way to wind up in the emergency room and trying to get a Nike removed in your backside, because I've seen him do it.
You need to walk the gullies because you
walk
tried
the
to hide
gullies.
them.
What do you mean walk? Who's going to walk the stinking gullies? I'm not in the walking the gully business. This is talk radio station here, man. What are you talking about? Go walk the... Okay, Larry, Doc, and Casey, we're going dead air, folks. We got to go walk the gullies. What do you mean go walk the gullies?
So that you'll understand that you've been hoodooed numerous times over 75 years. Y'all don't have a modern day drainage system.
Get off my phone! Get off my phone!
You have really made me upset.
Well,
that's a very offensive way to put it. You shouldn't say that.
I've had great. That's about all I can take today, because I'm PO'd, Larry. You know that. You attack Huntington. What did Huntington do? They just beat Huntington, and you have no idea. You don't speak from any experience whatsoever, except a gully. Now you do have experience with that because you live in it. I'm sure you live in a gully. And my heart goes out to that gully. It's a sewer. The man lives in. Jeez, I apologize. I shouldn't attack callers like that. Doctor, is anything you have? Can you write me a script or something?
Sure, I'll get you some Haldol right away.
Doc. Weather updates brought to you by Dustin Ring. Dustin buys houses fast for cash. DustinBuys.com. He buys houses, trailers, land. If you need to sell fast, call Dustin Buys Houses Fast for Cash. It's 731-200-1362. 731-200-1362. We've got to go walk the gullies. Anyone ever heard of walking?
Never heard of that.
What do you walk the gullies?
I've never heard of that. We used to ride in the gullies, ride dirt bikes in the gullies when I was a kid, but we never walked the gullies.
Walk the gullies.
Well, he said when he was a little boy they used to walk the gully.
Maybe
well,
he's
got experience, so
maybe
go
he
for
was,
it.
What do you think he got washed away?
What do you think the chances are that he grew up under some power lines? That's why, folks. That's why you don't do dope.
What is really disturbing is he listens to your show.
Yeah. What would be disturbing if I listened to his?
You just did for 10 minutes.
In a way, that's true. See,
you
there
can
Rick.
cut him off. You can just hit that cutoff button and
there's that button on the phone that hangs up.
Yeah, but then you don't get all that. Rick is...
Hey, you were talking about Dustin Buys Houses just a second ago. I was just going to tell you, I've known Dustin for years, and I don't throw my name on a lot of people, but I will say Dustin's one of the greatest people around. And,
he really is.
Great guy. I've known him for about somewhere close to 20 years. So, and great guy, does very well by his people.
Yeah, you do know he is. I've got to know him very well. He's integrity. He's a really hard worker.
Absolutely.
Reminds me of so much of me. Really does.
Now, yesterday we were talking about something I'm sure you want to ask KC about, which is medical marijuana.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Doc.
Because apparently there's some people out there using marijuana and calling into the show. Nevertheless.
Well, it wasn't me.
It's Doctor. This is Dr. Feelgood here. Yeah, medical marijuana. I was got into it just a bit yesterday, but Harvard Medical School has released some new findings saying that suffering from chronic pain, muscle spasms, nausea, anxiety, medical marijuana could be the breakthrough that you've been hoping for. Now, hippies, before you get all excited, I know it's the breakthrough, it's the miracle that you've always been dreaming of. We're not talking about hippies that get high on the couch and crush a sack of Doritos and a sack of Funyuns. This is medical marijuana. And so the experts from Harvard Medical School are saying that medical marijuana is offering up all these health benefits to get you out of chronic pain, muscle spasms, nausea, anxiety, that sort of a thing. It doesn't appear that we're close to getting medical marijuana legalized in the state of Tennessee. They're too busy with drag queen brunches right now. But I think they also have worked hard to try to help us get into heaven. So what's your thoughts on this?
I will say I have a very good friend of mine. We've been brothers for years, and he actually now lives in Florida, and he has his medical marijuana card. He had a real bad issue with other drugs beforehand, and he got off of all that because of kidney stones. Actually, he had I think he said the other day he had 31 kidney stone operations.
What, Doc?
Yes.
Is that? I assume that's high number of kidney stone operations.
That's high. He's probably talking about basket retrievals. I can't imagine you entering the kidney 31 times.
He says surgeries and it procedures between basket retrievals and lithotripsies and.
Don't argue with a doctor. He's a medical doctor.
I'm not like arguing with him. I'd rather argue with you, and he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, we have a lot in common. Go ahead.
But one of the things was for him was the anxiety over the pain from his kidney stones, and
which is very painful. You ever had a kidney stone?
I just had one back in November.
Oh, that's right.
And still haven't passed it.
What?
Yes, still haven't passed it.
That's dangerous, isn't it, Doc? Because they could get in that
Yeah,
tubing.
you can jam up the kidneys and wreck the kidneys and have a lingering infection. I've got my multi-tool here. We'll get to work on that.
Yes, if you will go late, we don't have any anesthesia, but Larry, you got a hammer back there, right?
Jack Daniels? I can have that.
Go do that by Melissa's desk.
Yeah, we got a stick. He can bite down on that. So
just give me a fifth of Jack, and we'll be in good shape. But back to the medical marijuana. He's got his card, and he swears by it. And he and I had very long discussions about it back in the day because, I mean, he was a traveling musician. And even though he had his card, he traveled to other places that did not, to point out to him, was it's not legal everywhere, so not everybody's going to be as understanding as the state of Florida.
Well, Doctor, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's federally, it's still illegal, but
that's right.
If some states have
yes.
Yes, I don't know exactly that works. If the FBI don't come after you, you should be okay. But don't take that as sound advice. I'm not.
Is that sarcasm?
No, it's confusion. It is confusing to have.
It is. And I don't know if you stopped in a state that does not have medical marijuana, what they do, they probably leave you alone.
Probably these days, yeah.
These days, but now this has been several years ago. But I will say for him and for a lot of other people, they're good. There's the good and the bad about everything. But with this one, he's ADHD, OCD, has anxiety, and he's a performer. So you can imagine how amped up he gets.
Yeah, if all that comes together, it should be a good show.
Exactly. And so he got his medical card, and it did wonders for him as far as being able to get off of all the.
It's a 3-hour show. Could you get down?
Are you
to
sure?
It's
been 2 minutes, Dan. You fuss about this all the time. And
don't be half
takes
a
away
sissy.
from his talking.
Yeah,
right,
no.
Shaggy.
Well, I listened to him on the way over here, and it was
Thank you.
Doc tried to get a word in edgewise, and every other word Dan was jumping on top of himself.
A man complaining who's just had 4 minutes to rattle on there. They don't have time.
You asked my opinion. I was giving your opinion. I was giving an opinion.
No, I'm good with that. But
okay.
At some point you need to tie it off. We've got
Why?
it. The guy likes it. Okay, he likes weed.
But it works for him. That was my point.
Yeah. What do you say then, Doc?
There are some people for whom marijuana works. You ever watch The Big Lebowski?
Love it.
Okay, there's a classic example of where marijuana is not working for the dude.
It's are you employed, sir?
What day is this?
Yeah. Have you seen The Big Lebowski?
I have. It's been years, but yes.
Larry, have you seen it?
Yes, I have.
Man, that was a terrific movie, was it not?
Fantastic.
He may be the laziest man in all Los Angeles County. The dude. Oh, that was a great movie. He wrote a check for like $1.35 for half a gallon of milk. You remember that?
Yeah.
The dude. Well, we're going to continue this and find out, folks, how you feel. Is it because they're still in session up there? Maybe we could get this as a late invitee to the party in Nashville, in Arkansas. That's SEC states typically are the ones that are the last to the party, so to speak. But they have medical marijuana, and they may have gone to recreational marijuana as well.
They have.
Recreational marijuana. Mike Huckabee's son's a governor now there.
His daughter. I'm not sure about this show.
Are you speaking in hyperbole there or sarcasm?
There's a little rhetoric right there. Now,
I'm
that's
not
actionable.
sure.
That's actionable.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't cut much slack to people that intentionally lie to American people.
What it said in Babylon B that it was his son.
It was, yeah. It's the
when the Arkansas Highway Patrol comes sniffing around, you won't be so, flippant.
Yeah, but see, some of my best friends are with the THP, and I would not go there if I was in Arkansas, because that's when you see that handsome hat, THP, it looks a lot better than that garbage they wear in Arkansas. I tell you that. Precision Auto Body, 25 plus years now in business, man. I tell you, I'm so proud of them. Mark and Kim and that it's family-owned business. It's just north of Medina on Highway 45. It's if you're headed towards Milan. The official address is Milan, but it's right there on Highway 45 between Medina and Milan. They replace headliners and carpeting. They do complete collision repair on domestic and imports, including BMW and Mercedes. Now, I've got a BMW that looks black, but it's actually this weird blue color. And so that's a tough paint match. And I had a supermodel I was dating keyed my car over a misunderstanding. She's crazy.
Supermodel.
The woman's crazy. And no, I forgot what happened. I think I hit a cow or something. But it's they came and picked my car up and left the rental car with me, and it was a perfect match. I'm telling you, it's amazing. They have a rental car fleet on site there. So if you were to call them up and say, hey, I hit a cow, whatever, they would bring the rental car to you, pick up your vehicle, take it in, repair it, and then bring it back to you, pick up the rental car. Now, how's that for customer service?
That's great.
That's
KC,
awesome.
why don't we go out and key his BMW
And
just to see if they can do it again?
See if they can do it
Yeah.
twice. Repeat the process.
That's the essence of science, is the ability to replicate an experiment. I'm all up for this.
I got a big key.
Yeah.
I'm picking up, Larry, I'm picking up some static over here. They do, and they've stayed out in front when it comes to the latest technology like the Maximus computer, the Weep systems, just producing amazing results when that mixed in with the best technicians that you can find anywhere. The website is precisionautobodytn.com because they've got now in Dyersburg, in Martin, and the one between Milan and Medina. Just wonderful people doing it, just outperforming the rest. Because local people have to do that. Local businesses, they have to be better. You're one of those, Casey.
I try. And,
yeah, you do. And you do a wonderful job with it. Precision Auto Body, thanks so much for what they do. And it is 5:33. We come back, we'll continue, and we'll get your thoughts on medical marijuana and recreational marijuana. We've got a ton of texts we're going to get to when we return here on the program. And did you know that chameleons don't change their color to blend in with the environment? I was laboring under misconception there for years. They do it to communicate with each other. Now, how would they know that?
It's how they communicate.
No, I'm talking about the guy that wrote that. How would he know that?
Maybe he's a chameleon.
Post-it notes were originally called Press and Peel. I was in a band called that years ago. When they came out in 1977, they didn't sell very well until they changed the name in 1980 to Post-it Notes.
Right.
Doc, I've said this for years. Labeling, marketing, that's why it's that important. So call us, folks, at 731-234-5195. And labeling. Dr. Kevorkian, remember him? Dr. Death.
Yeah.
He was pitching assisted suicide. Had he called it early retirement, for example, it may have passed, and he may have avoided prison. It's labeling. I'm telling you. Why you don't listen to me, I don't know. It's about labeling. You look like a goat trying to use an ATM. Are you picking up what I'm laying down?
I hear what you're saying, Dan. I hear what you're saying.
I don't think he appreciates it, do you? I'm going to have to dumb it down for co-host. No, Casey, thank you, buddy. And by the way, Gene Langley Ford in Humboldt now offering, listen to this, concierge service for the service department. If you've got an oil change, if you've got whatever it is with your service, you book it in with Gene Langley Ford, and within a 15-mile radius, they will come and pick that vehicle up, take it in and service it, and then deliver it back to you. It's brilliant. Local people again. GeneLangleyFord.com, where you can set your service visit. You can shop online at GeneLangleyFord.com. You can even secure financing. It's just absolutely brilliant.
Local people taking care of local people.
Absolutely, Casey. Now you're getting it, man. It's that's the way it works with him. And we'll be right back. We're going to get more into, and there's some breaking local news too. We're going to get to as well when we return here on the program. Larry, do you have anything?
No, huh?
I figured.
But I could say, you said the name of your band. I thought the name of your band was Scratch and Sniff.
No, that's the movie I made with your sister. We'll be right back.
COVID-19!
COVID-19. Hi, my name's Dawn. I have been taking BioT at Advanced Medical. My moods are better. I sleep well. My husband has complimented me on the mood swings that are no longer affecting our marriage.
Are these problems affecting your work, your relationships, and your quality of life? You'll be happy to know there's an exciting, natural solution available called BioT. BioT uses a natural way for men and women to correct these problems by safely and accurately balancing hormone levels without the use of synthetic injections or cream.
I got blood work done, and they identified what hormones were out of balance. They gave me the bioidentical hormone pellets through BioT, and now I have more energy, no more brain fog. I'm sleeping better, and I feel like my old self again. I would recommend Advanced Rehab and Medical and their BioT program to anyone suffering with symptoms like mine. It's been life-changing.
To book your appointment, call 731-462-8580. That's 731-462-8580.
Welcome to Hampton Inn & Suites of Jackson. Make yourself at home in any of the 83 rooms or suites. Hampton Inn & Suites exit 83 at I-40 is minutes away from all Jackson destinations like the West Tennessee Healthcare Sportsplex, Casey Jones Village, Jackson Madison County General Hospital, and many industrial complexes. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, free parking, and free hot breakfast. Also a 24-hour fitness and business center. Welcome to West Tennessee. Make your reservations now by calling direct at 731-427-6100 or visit hampton.com. The Rocket is coming to Jackson April 13th, Meridian Baptist Church. Roger Clemens will be the guest at the 4th annual benefit to the Trey Lindsay Scholarship. Roger Clemens has an unprecedented 7 Cy Young Awards, 354 wins, and 4,672 strikeouts. Clemens' career spanned 24 years with the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, and Astros. The 11-time All-Star, winning 2 World Series with the New York Yankees. Silent auction is huge with sports celebrity memorabilia along with hunts, duck calls, vacation packages, restaurant packages, and more. Follow posts on Facebook mentioning items leading up to the event. Call 731-217-7187, 731-217-7187 for table sponsor or ticket information. Brought to you by Work Care Resources and News Talk 96.5 FM and NewsTalkWTN.com.
When you need a heart expert, you need an expert with heart. Corbin Cardiology is dedicated to providing the highest quality cardiovascular care in West Tennessee. At Corbin Cardiology, our patient-centered approach, along with a full array of diagnostic imaging services, sets us apart from other cardiovascular clinics. Corbin Cardiology has clinics in Bartlett, Dyersburg, Lexington, and the newest location is now open in Jackson at 58 Murray Guard Drive. To schedule an appointment in office or by telemedicine, visit CorbinCardiology.com
or call 731-513-5701.
They say consistency is the key to success. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently refreshing and light? Michelob Ultra, only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Central Distributors, Jackson.
Looking to add a little spice to your love life?
Nothing adds spice like gunpowder.
Jackson's only indoor shooting range. Date night at the range. Here's what you lovebirds get. A shooting lane for 2 targets, 100 rounds of ammo, eye and ear protection, and a $30 gift certificate to Texas Roadhouse, all for just $99.99.
Now that's firepower.
Perfect for a gift card from The Range. The Range, 2310 North Highland Avenue in Jackson.
Go to therange.com.
Wake up with Wood. Daybreak with Greg Wood. Weekday morning 6 till 10 on 96.5 FM and newstalkwtn.com.
King Jewelers is not your typical jewelry store. It's an iconic symbol of love. Custom-made jewelry to suit the most discriminating taste. Or you can redesign an old piece that's just sitting in a jewelry box. Create something completely new and unique. Grover has over 40 years experience as a certified jeweler. Visit KingJewelerJackson.com. King Jewelers at 16B Conrad Drive, Jackson. Follow King Jewelers Jackson on social media for special savings.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Central Distributors, Jackson.
Hi, my name's Dawn. I have been taking BioT at Advanced Medical. My moods are better. I sleep well. My husband has complimented me on the mood swings that are no longer affecting our marriage.
Are these problems affecting your work, your relationships, and your quality of life? You'll be happy to know there's an exciting, natural solution available called BioT. BioT uses a natural way for men and women to correct these problems by safely and accurately balancing hormone levels without the use of synthetic injections or cream.
I got blood work done, and they identified what hormones were out of balance. They gave me the bioidentical hormone pellets through BioT, and now I have more energy, no more brain fog, I'm sleeping better, and I feel like my old self again. I would recommend Advanced Rehab and Medical and their BioT program to anyone suffering with symptoms like mine. It's been life-changing.
To book your appointment, call 731-462-8580. That's 731-462-8580.
Get all the latest news, talk, weather, and sports. NewsTalkWTN.com and 96.5 FM.
BioTE, that is done wonders for me. Gina's is on BioTE now, Doc. Did you know that?
Yeah, she's. We talked about it the other night. She's very pleased with it, so that's good news.
Yes, she is. It's really put a lot of pep in her step. Bioidentical testosterone and estrogen. You can find your power. You ever heard it said like that, Case? You can take your power back.
Maybe I need to go get seen about
Definitely, because you're weak, and it's hormone optimization. The balance of nature and science coming together, it is producing extraordinary benefits. Pardon me. It certainly has for me. I'm half 100. Now I'm telling you, it's a lot of times I'll wear cutoff shirts. Larry knows that, just to reveal that I've got a six-pack. And I only do that just to let you know, because people ask, geez, you're ripped. I'm like, by OTE. Some people think I do it just, out of arrogance. No, it's...
Larry, is this more rhetoric and hyperbole?
No, he's telling the truth.
Seriously, my belly is flat, dude. I don't buy an ironing board. I just iron off my belly, and and I'm telling you, my testosterone is at 1,200. I'm not kidding you, folks. That's where it was at when I was like 22, and I'm half 100, and that's where it is now. And we've all said as we age, I wish I would have known then what I know now, meaning that I've got all this information, but I don't want to get out of the recliner. I'm tired. And I have friends they work out, they do sit-ups. Some even go so far as to doing jumping jacks. Jeez. And but they say, I can't shake the belly fat. Well, it could be that your testosterone level is just way too low, right, Doc?
That's true. That is true.
It's all about quality of life. And studies show that optimized hormones are necessary for good health. BioTE. So if you don't have that same energy level, if you've noticed your energy level is way down, or if it's down, if you don't have it, if the magic has disappeared out of the bedroom, you don't have that, that stamina, you don't have it. The quality of life is just not what it used to be because you seem tired all the time. And studies show that hormone levels naturally decline up to 10% yearly as we age. Think about that. Well, do what I did and call Dr. Shannon Bone in Advanced Rehab and Medical and ask if BioTE is right for thee. I've been doing it for 5 years. One treatment, about 10-minute treatment, tiny pellets placed just under the skin. Last treatments right now, they're right butt cheek for me, okay? And they deaden it, and they put them in there, and bam, you're off and running. 6 months, it lasts me. Think of it like this. Pardon me. It's think of an airplane, a jet, jumbo jet, taking off and reaching 40,000 feet, cruising altitude. That's what I do. And I stay at 40,000 for 6 months, and I come in for a nice soft landing, and I get repelleted and right back up to 40,000. It's nice, I tell you. They say youth is wasted on the young, and I say I want youth wasted on me. So do what I did and call Dr. Shannon Bone and ask about BioTE. 731-503-8254. 731-503-8254. If it can do for me, why can't it do for you? 731-503-8254. BioTE. Phone lines, we go. You're next up with us here live on News Talk 96.5 FM. Go. Hi there, you're on the air. Go.
Hey, guys, how are you?
Look at this. How you doing, guy? Girl, Miss Davidson alive with us. I recognize that voice. How you doing, girl?
I'm a little bit upset. I don't appreciate y'all just casting aspersion on Rick earlier. That was very uncalled. I'm just really disappointed when you make aspersions about the drag queen community.
I didn't
don't see anything. I'm on the phone right now, baby. I don't see anything wrong. I can't.
Can you not shut?
No, listen.
Jeez.
Listen. I want the drag queen.
What's he yapping? What's he yapping
call
about?
You back. I'm sorry. Would you shut up? I'm trying to make a phone call. You idiot.
Jeez, I tell you, it's you really shouldn't call in, would you? In a domestic situation. So if you think Rick is just an actor, I mean, that's at home, and he's chewing on Miss David. I don't understand. I wish I would have.
And by the way,
yeah, thank you. I wish I would have asked about why did she stays with him.
How come her to still be girlfriends and all with him? He mean to her.
She says it's for the times when he's good to her.
Well, that's fine, but when he's good, he must be great. I don't get it.
Are we talking about the same person?
What do you mean?
Are you talking about Rick?
Yeah, you didn't hear him on there yelling at her?
Evidently, they're still seeing each other. I don't know. It's none of my business. I mean, I don't want it to go full domestic. It's live on the air. And that was not, David, that was not your fault, girl. Whatever. And it was just, I don't know, Doc, it's moments like that where I question, but I mean, seriously consider taking the phone lines and ripping them out of the wall and throwing it out there on stinking 45 highway. And I know that's overreacting, and I apologize. Anyway.
Maybe it's that extra testosterone.
See, don't turn this like that was my fault. I didn't call them.
But you were hard on the drag queens.
You were really
What did I do? What'd I do?
Disparaging the drag queens. Clearly, you're transphobic.
I did?
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
I'm going to paint a rainbow on that Jeep.
That's not true. I'm conservative. I'm not for big government to go after 1/6 of 1% of the Tennessee population. I've never seen a drag queen brunch ever. I've never seen
Never even heard of one.
Why don't you just do? No, I said that's right. Until they worked on outlawing them, I'd never even heard of one. And it's like passing legislation to make sure the unicorns don't start running wild. And I just it's a solution that doesn't have a problem attached to it, sort of a thing. That makes me a little bit cautious.
Yes.
That it's.
Yeah.
But do you ever run into a drag queen brunch?
No.
Casey, you said you have. Larry, you?
No, I never even heard of one.
Never even heard of a drag queen brunch. And now they're outlawed.
So I guess you missed your chance.
You're not going to hear of it now.
You missed that brunch.
Well, if I got you hearing of it now, it's
How come her to still be girlfriend?
we got that. We don't know why. It's
Help.
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, somebody said, listen, if you with homosexuals, I remember several years ago, wanted equal rights, want to be able to marry a young man marrying a man, which that was an easy sell in Tennessee, I tell you. And that's hey, if you really want to find out how bad they want to be married, pass a law saying they're not allowed to divorce.
You think that might slow the whole thing down?
It made me slam the brakes on it. It would, but it's pretty. I don't know. I'm a conservative though. I just don't believe in overreach. I don't want to be. I mean, you think about Larry if he's sitting at home watching 50 Shades of Grey, and they kick his door in dressed like they're about to invade Poland. That'll ruin his mood. Scare the cats. Scare the devil out of the cats. I mean, think about that. Larry's in a new movie, by the way, that's coming out soon called 50 Seconds of Grey. Sorry, Larry.
Larry, you don't have to put up with that.
You really
don't.
don't.
Always walk.
You really don't.
Yeah.
You could strike for higher wages or something.
You can get striked right across the forehead with that hammer. What are you going to do with that hammer, Larry?
You'll find out.
Got that hammer in
you
your
keep
hand.
running that mouth over there.
You went up another notch, Doc. Was that not a fabulous movie?
I love that movie.
Sling Blade.
What you got to eat in there?
It's some
biscuits and mustard.
Larry, you go ahead and knock that off if you.
I like a little mustard on my biscuits.
Yeah, it's we have these cuts already, Doc, but but they yes.
I ain't got no reason to kill nobody.
You don't need to hear things like that. You just a boy.
You're just
you
a
need
boy.
to think about good thoughts while you still a boy.
Make sure he gets in books about Christmas.
Okay. Tell you this, and folks, medical marijuana is illegal. I think it would
so far.
So far, but it's only 5:53. How about the student walkouts? I was talking with some Madison County school kids. They're up here on the station yesterday. Greg Hammond brought them up. Wonderful kids in his system that I've met this year. And I asked them about it, and they said, yeah, we think about it every day about these school shootings. And in Nashville, all across the city, earlier this week, there were walkouts, kids walking out of school. What do you make of that?
Were they protesting?
Yeah, they were protesting. It's 6 people, of course, were killed in that mass shooting. Larry, if you don't turn the table over, it'd be awesome. It's a
stunt.
The Covenant School.
Stunt? Yeah, I appreciate that school children have a First Amendment right, but marching on the Capitol is just a stunt.
I'll say this: if they walked out of school. It was a walkout. It's so you think it's a stunt? What do you say to it about that?
I understand I understand that it's their right to protest, or however they were, or a symbol in that nature. But what are they protesting? Are they protesting?
They want the adults to do something about these school shootings that happen way too often. instead of kind of referring our problems upward, like thoughts and prayers. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. That doesn't seem to help.
Well, and we had this discussion the other day about hardening the schools and doing some things that need to be done.
Right. Those are symptoms, though. How about the root cause of it? The kids are saying enough is enough. Get real here, is what they're saying.
Well, I say, you say that's a symptom, but that's not a symptom. Hardening the schools is not a symptom. Hardening the schools is trying to help fix the problem.
I understand what you're saying. Let me explain. This doesn't happen near this frequency anywhere else in the world. We're back to intentionally misleading the American people. In other words, we know we're getting screwed over, just don't know who's doing it. People are mad. I think we all know this. People are angry. Absolutely. I've never seen it like this in my life. It's when I was a kid, I know all you, the four of us sitting here all remember that no one would even tell you who they voted for. If you asked someone, it was like you were asking a probing personal question. They'd say none of your business who I voted for. What changed? I know what changed. The fairness doctrine being smothered, killed, is what changed. And I think these kids are saying to the adults, grow up and deal with these problems and stop lying to us about it. I think that's what they're saying. And after talking with some kiddos, they've had enough. I mean, they really have had enough. They shouldn't have to go to school and worry about getting shot. I mean, I wouldn't go anywhere where I seriously had to worry about and think about that every day. Actually, I probably should, but if you know what I mean, these are kids. Children.
You know when the worst school massacre was? The one in which the most people died? 1907. There was a disgruntled town councilman who lost his election. He'd had health problems. He had financial problems. He gathered up a lot of TNT, killed his wife, killed his 2 horses, took the TNT to school and blew it up, and I think 45 people were killed.
What's your point?
Well, I'm saying this is not something entirely new to our country.
Oh, okay. Well, forget I brought it up. Kids, shut up and get back in the classroom. That means nothing to me, what you just said. I don't see what, it's neither here nor there.
Well, we act as though this has never happened in the United States.
No, we act as though the frequency is not really happening.
Well, the frequency has increased. That's true.
Yeah.
But these things have been going on. Here's one 1974, 1950.
But and your point is?
The point is mass killings have been going on for a long time.
Well, you're making my point. Why? And you're making the kids' point. Why are we still waiting to this will blow over sort of an attitude? Let's go back to the phone lines. You're next with us here live.
Not doing too much, you're just kind of staring at the wall. Waiting on my mother to come out and give me my Bible lesson. Well, I hear the commotion up there in the house. So I run up on the street see what is going on. I looked in the window there and I seen my mother laying on the floor. That need clothes on. Pleased to meet you. I seen Jesse Dixon laying on top of her.
Jesse, my man.
She was having his way with her. I just seen red.
Do you have her phone number?
Picked up a Kaiser blade that's sitting there by the screen door. Some folks call it a sling blade. I call it a Kaiser blade. I was kind of wanting something other day. What the hell?
We're going to have to go to hang up on you, but thank you for responding with some sling blade cuts. And
Sling Blade Wednesday.
What do you say, Larry? You're a former teacher.
Well, I had a article yesterday. One of the things they're doing in Australia is besides physical fitness, they teach mental fitness.
That's excellent points. It's not the kids. Yeah, although that would help deal with all this stuff. It's the adults that need. We won't even do background checks for mental illness. Just too intrusive. Sure, some kids are going to have to die, but we just can't intrude like that. That's just, to me, that is just unbelievable. In our country, you get what you put up with. You really do. What do you say to that? Are you good? Are you in favor of background checks? If you want to buy a gun, you're going to have a waiting period while we check and make sure you're not crazy.
I've still, we had this discussion last week, and I still am in that mode of who is going to do the mental evaluation. And
but what do you mean who's going to do it? Is that your problem? We'll find medical professionals. That's who will do it.
Okay, and they're going to turn all your information over to who?
What do you mean? Over to who? Okay, let me slow down here to make sure that you don't. That there's
I'm
not
right
a good
there with
point
you, Dan.
In that,
I'm right there
what
with
are you
you.
worried about?
I'm not worried about anything.
Everybody already knows. We don't need a psychiatrist or psychologist. We hear you talk. You don't need a gun. No, I'm kidding. But it's what are you afraid of? Seriously, I need to be more understanding here.
I think what the majority of people are afraid of
it's not the majority. The majority of Americans want this done. And this is a representative republic. It used to be.
Okay. The majority of people that have an issue with the background check.
Okay.
Part of what their issue is there, who is doing the check? Who are they going to turn the information over to? Because this now becomes, if they don't have a mental issue, now you've got the other side where everybody in the government can find it, who owns what guns, where. I think that's some of the issue. And I'm not saying I agree with it.
But that wouldn't happen. I mean, we do background checks. We companies, if somebody's going to hire you, they're going to do a background check on that. Already, I mean, we do this. We do this all day, every day. But when it comes to guns, it just seems like we just can't. It's going too far. That's crazy to me.
Well, background checks for a job is a lot different than a mental background check because most companies don't do.
But it's a background check. That same thing. What if that information gets out? It's there are laws against letting it out. I mean, if you let it out, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble, legal trouble. That's how you handle that. Because you're right. You wouldn't want that getting out, but we act like there's no way to avoid that. We just have to keep. I'm sorry, kids, you're gonna have to die, sort of a thing. I just don't understand.
Again, I'm not disagreeing with you in theory of what you're saying. What I'm saying is, we can talk about this, but until there's an actual actionable answer,
we've already talked about it. It's been hashed and rehashed while more kids have died. We need to check and make sure that you're not mentally ill. That doesn't seem like that's an intrusion of privacy if you want to carry around a hand cannon.
Well, and I'll say this. I go back to something that Doc said Friday when we were together Friday about different guns being different, having different licensing for different weapons or products of the weapon. But here's of high capacity magazines and things of that nature. What we were talking about.
I'm sure anything that will explode in your hand and send a speeding bullet out is what I'm talking about. You don't need one if you're mentally ill.
Who's going to do this background check? And
is that your real problem? You're wondering if we're going to be able to do that because we do it all day, every day.
What does it consist of?
What do you mean? If you do a background check to see if you're mentally ill?
There's a purchaser at the counter. He's talking to the clerk, and he says, "I want to buy this handgun." Who is going to take the ball from that point and do this background check that you want? This mental health.
We put a man on the moon in the '60s. What are y'all talking about? We've got this stinking internet. Y'all act like this. I've never heard of doing a background check.
Mental health information is not widely available. It's privacy. There's all kinds of privacy regulations.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's why we're having this discussion. So you have no problem
Do you think a psychiatrist is going to spend all day on the phone talking to gun clerks about who he treats? No.
Lord have mercy. Okay, you're right. Sorry, kids. You're going to have to die. You're going to have to die, kids.
There are logistic issues to this.
The logistic issues are kids being shot and killed. What are we talking about here? You're making this complicated, and it's not. Most of our problems are not complicated. It's very elementary.
But still, in your opinion, who does the background check? Who does this? How does it happen?
The same people that do the background checks, the companies that do them for many companies across America today. They're set up. They're ready to go. They could do it tomorrow. Why are we acting like this is difficult? And spend all day? What do you mean spend all day? You make a phone call and say, hey, are they being treated for mental illness? Yes. Thank you. Click.
Well,
Seriously, get real.
Mental illness. Is that major depression, bipolar depression, paranoid schizophrenia? What exact mental illness are you talking about?
Doc, I can't believe I'm hearing this. It's why are you complicating something so simple? I could think all the above may be. Would you want someone with any of the things you just mentioned to walk around with a hand cannon?
I would not object to people with unipolar depression having a firearm. Mild unipolar depression would not bother me.
Okay, you went to an extreme to make an example.
There are lots of people
because
in
of
that category.
Because of that, we just can't do background checks to see if someone's mentally ill.
Well, you recognize that there's several levels of background checks: criminal convictions.
But I'm talking about the one we're not doing, and the thing that's this country. Our country's sick. There's a lot of mental illness. Evidently, it was not a good idea with the Reagan administration kicking everybody out of the insane asylums. Might not have been a good idea.
Right.
And now there's look at the homelessness in America today, and look at was anyone shocked to find out that the shooter in Nashville 2 weeks ago was mentally ill?
Yeah, and she was being treated for that. Okay.
That would have been a great background check, wouldn't it?
But here's the problem. Assume, for the sake of argument, there are people out there who say, I don't wish to have my mental health information made public.
Well, we respect that, but you're not going to carry a hand cannon either.
Which conflicts with their constitutional rights. It's a delicate dance.
No, it's not either. It's not delicate at all. A well-armed militia, get real, okay? It's a crazy person with a gun is not a well-armed militia. So your argument, it falls over and it can't get up.
Well, in theory, I hear what you're saying. Mentally ill people, people with severe mental illness, problematic mental illness, should not buy guns. But logistically, I don't know how you're going to accomplish that.
It's easy. There's companies that do it all day, every day. I mean, it's very simple.
It's not very simple.
Yes, it is.
It's not very simple because
it's not simple because of politicians not wanting to lose the NRA money. We need to be honest about this, because if they were not dumping back it up Brinks trucks to politicians, we would have something done about this. The same reason, like health care coverage. Why is it sky high? Well, you can't sell healthcare. You can't buy healthcare insurance if you live in Tennessee, outside the state of Tennessee. Now, this is America, and we're okay with that. I'm telling you, it's a trauma bond. It's a stinking trauma bond. That's not a complicated issue. You say, look, you idiots. Yes, the American people can shop around. You love capitalism? Well, here you go. It's competition. I guess you better step up your game, Blue Cross Blue Shield. They wouldn't be doing the things they do if there was actually competition. So stop telling me that you love capitalism, that you love this free market, because we don't have it anymore. I'm not talking to you directly, it's generally speaking, because we don't. But we want to pretend we do. We want to pretend we just can't stop crazy people from getting guns because they're a part of the well-armed militia. No, they're not.
In theory, you're correct.
It's not theory, it's in
the
reality.
Practicality of actually making that happen that's so difficult. There are people with all kinds of mental illness, acute adjustment reaction disorder, and other things that would not necessarily prevent them from buying a gun, but certainly they don't want that public, whether they want to buy a gun or not.
It doesn't have to be public, but you're not going to carry a handgun cannon if you have a mental illness. If you don't want a background check, you don't have to have one. But you don't get a hand cannon either, because it's not working out well for us. It's just not working out. I think we'd have a difference. Certainly the politicians would have a different attitude if these were terrorists, Middle Easterners, killing the same amount of people at the same frequency in America. We do something about that because they don't have a lobbying firm with Middle Eastern.
But in fairness, 50,000 people a year are killed by automobiles. Nobody's saying
That's
we got to
totally
outlaw automobiles.
That is the weakest argument I've ever heard. I mean, it is.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No, you're losing 50,000 lives a year through automobiles. Why don't we do something about that? We lose more
Doc,
lives
you got
through
us there.
automobiles
Okay, Doc.
than
Doc's
firearms.
right. Doc's right. If you crazy people, if you don't have a gun, well, we'll hand them out to you
No,
because
I'm
of
not saying that
automobiles.
either. I'm not saying that either.
That's weak as water.
No.
It's weak as that is used to just muddy the water, and people, well, I guess he's right about that. What does one have to do with the other? Because you're talking about, and when you get an automobile, what do they do? What do they ask you to do?
They ask you to perform and take a test.
And they also do what? Do you think if you had a moving violation in an automobile that they would do a background check on you?
No.
They wouldn't find out about it.
They would
you're on the honor system
They
with
would
them.
check the records.
When you have a DUI, that's also called a background check.
Well, that's entirely different.
No.
From a mental health issue. Yeah,
What if we said, "Hey, look,
They don't do mental
we
health
don't need
checks
to
for
let people.
driver's
We don't
license.
need to let people drive a vehicle if they have 10 DWIs." And I said, "There's no way we could. How would we do a background check?
Well,
How
that's
would
easy. Those records are
It's
kept
all easy.
computerized.
Yes.
Public
Oh,
health, mental health records are
What
not
do they
public.
keep those?
Mental health records are kept by the doctors.
Individually.
In a computer.
Individual
same way.
doctors.
But you two act like you're telling me something. It's
Well, evidently
the
you're not
public
listening.
doesn't need to be able to tap into the database. But if you want a gun, then we need to do a background check to make sure you're not mentally ill. Is that seriously?
Yes,
Is that
seriously.
trampling on people's rights?
Yes, absolutely.
What
it
about
is.
the rights of the kids that are dead?
Well, they have rights as well.
No, they don't because they're dead.
Well-
Because we sell guns to mentally ill people. Because politicians want to keep the NRA money. That's what it is. Just admit it. Am I wrong?
Yes.
I am wrong.
Yes.
The only reason.
I don't think anybody in the NRA
Yep.
would advocate that we sell guns to mentally ill people.
Really?
Yes. The
So
NRA would
they're
not
advocating to do background checks, aren't they?
I think the NRA, of course, we have background checks. They're not as wide as you would like, but we do have background checks.
No, we don't. For mental illness, we don't.
Yes, you do.
We do?
There's a question on the form that says,
It's
have
the
you-
honor system.
have you
How
ever-
many crazy people would you trust on the honor system?
Well, how are you going to trip over it otherwise?
Well, that's like saying if you want a driver's license, hey, we're not going to do a background check. If we just need you to be honest with us, if you had 10 DUIs, and if I need to drive them, I'll say no.
I think you're going to create more problems if you require people to disclose mental illness
To buy a gun.
To buy a gun. I think you're going to get all kinds of.
I give up. I give up. I do. Larry, you have anything to say?
I agree with them.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. And I know why you do. It's in your own self-interest. Because you definitely would not get a gun.
My good friend, it's almost 1:15 I'm going to have to bow out. I have other
Doc,
obligations.
thank you so
much.
much.
You're a good man, a great American.
You are too, Doc. I got a lot of respect for you.
Thank
I
you, sir.
love to talk this stuff over with you.
Yes, sir.
And the same for you, KC.
KC's good to see you. Larry, my friend.
Always good to see you, Doc.
Yes, sir. Good to see you.
Yeah,
Kept us out of the ditch one more time.
That's going to do it for us.
Go check out the gullies.
There
Don't
you
forget
go.
to check out the gullies.
Yeah, we're going to do a group gully walk. That should be fun.
About 15 minutes?
Yeah,
Just
and
about 15.
Larry's going to
Will
lead you
the
make
way?
some Long Island teas, Larry? And we're going to have some of those.
Larry's going to lead the way. Hey, don't forget, Dan, Saturday night, we are in Selmer, Tennessee with Tennessee Championship Wrestling, sponsored by our good friends, Man's Record Service, Fortune Financial Lending. We got a big card down there. The tag team champions are going to defend their belts. Saturday night, Selmer at the Community Center.
What? Forgive me for asking, but who are the champions right now?
Insane Dane and Isaiah Cone. Did
you do a background check? Is that why
I
it's
did.
called
I did
Insane?
not. Well, I didn't have to. They were referred to me by Dr. Tom Pritchard out of JPWA.
Oh,
But
Dr. Tom Pritchard, boy, he's great, isn't he?
He is. Talked to him today, actually. But Dr. Tom, they graduated from Dr. Tom's up there in Knoxville. So they got the seal of approval from the doc.
Well, that is valuable, isn't it?
It is, especially in the wrestling business.
I think that'd be the only thing that'd be valuable. But see you, Doc.
See you, Doc.
It's so
wrong, Doc. But
that's going to do it for us today. I enjoyed it, fellas.
It's always fun.
It's the pro-life people that just can't go far enough to stop people with mental illness to buy a gun. I'll never understand it as long as I live, other than propaganda actually works. We just can't do it because it tramples on their rights. It's kids die so often in school shootings in America. I'll never understand it. I won't, but it's kind of the way it is, I guess. Although the bulk of the American people would like to see legislation to do background checks on mental illness in a representative republic. That's how it's supposed to work, but evidently we're not that anymore. I'm available for motivational speaking. You can look me by dialing 1-900-BITE-ME. No, we deal with adult issues here, there's no doubt. Larry Newman, thank you so much, big guy. Had
You're
fun
welcome.
with you again today.
See you tomorrow.
Thanks for the warning. And Casey, go. Thank you, Casey.
You're welcome. Thanks, Uncle Bubba.
That should be a great show. Doubt it's a Civic Center.
It's Summer Civic Center. Yeah, that should be a great time. Come on out. Front row tickets $15. General admission $10. Sponsored by our good friends out at Mann's Record Service here in Jackson and Fortune Financial Lending down in Savannah, Tennessee.
Absolutely. It'll be a great show, Casey. And the range, be sure to visit the range. That's where I got my training when it comes to handgun. And they are wonderful there. The only indoor shooting range and training facility in Jackson, Tennessee. And by virtue of that, I'd say in West Tennessee. Regardless of the weather, it's always perfect conditions inside the range. The website is gototherange.com. You can sign up for several different classes, including active shooter training, all that at gototherange.com. And we're out of here, folks. Thanks for listening. The range is at 2310 North Highland in Jackson. The range, indoor shooting range. Gototherange.com.
This is WBFG 96.5 FM. Parker's Crossroads, Jackson.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters reporting.